All right, let me guess. You want to build a professional looking e-commerce website. Not one of those websites where someone sees it and they're like, did you build this yesterday? We've all been there, I got you. So today in this video, I'll walk you through how to create a professional looking e-commerce website with WordPress and Elementor. In this video, we will be using WordPress and Elementor. These free tools let you build your e-commerce website by literally dragging elements around your screen. It makes making websites as simple as it gets. And these tools are both popular. WordPress is popular because it gives you the freedom to build your e-commerce website any which way you want. Plus, it controls literally 42% of all websites on the internet. Elementor is the #1 most popular drag and drop page builder for WordPress. Elementor allows you to visually drag and drop elements onto the screen and visually build your e-commerce website with no experience. Now here's the deal. We're gonna build your entire e-commerce website using the free version of WordPress and Elementor. Pages, layout, design, all of it. But I bet some of you watching this video are control freaks. You probably want to design every part of your e-commerce store the way you want it. No problem, because I'll be showing you how to utilize the Elementor Pro features for those of you who decide to upgrade. The Pro version of Elementor allows you to custom build every part of your e-commerce shop, like creating a custom shop page from scratch and designing it any which way you want. With Elementor Pro, you can also create and design a single product page from scratch and design it any which way you like. You can also fully design and customize your customer's My Account page, the cart page, and checkout page, all using a visual drag and drop builder. So by the end of this video, you're gonna have a legit online store, clean product pages, a working cart and checkout, and yes, you'll be accepting credit card payments by the end of this video. Plus, I'll be giving out some free e-commerce templates that me and my team personally designed, but I'll talk more about that later. So if you want to build a professional e-commerce website the right way, then this video is for you. So let's first go to step 1. Now there is a link in the video description. This will take us to hostinger.com. This is where we're gonna get your domain and hosting for your new e-commerce website. All right, and this is hostinger.com. Now hostinger.com is among the fastest web hosting and also the most affordable in the industry. You also get a free domain name and a 30-day money-back guarantee for any reason whatsoever. Now, once you get to this page, you'll click on Claim Deal. Next, you'll be brought to 3 different plans. We have the Premium, the Business, and the Cloud Startup. I personally recommend to go with the Business plan. The main reason why is because you can host up to 50 websites on your hosting package, and you get access to NVMe storage, which is much faster than typical SSD. So once you get here under the Business plan, you'll click on Choose Plan. Next, we're brought to our cart page. Now over here under period, we have a few options. So you can sign up for 48 months, 24 months, and 12 months. I personally recommend to go with 12 months. This will grant you a free domain name. It's the lowest price and it'll give you enough time to decide if this is for you or not. So go ahead and select your period. Next, we'll scroll down and here you can secure a free domain with the 12-month plan. So here I'll type in my domain name. Okay, so my domain name is available. So you'll select your free domain. Then you'll select the period for your domain. So I think 1 year is good. So I'll select 1 year. All right, cool. So after we select our 1 year period, here on the right side, this is the order summary. Now we have a coupon code and our coupon code will work for any of Hostinger plans, even if they have a sale. So over here under have a coupon code, if you enter the coupon code Daryl10, you'll save an additional 10% off any of the Hostinger plans. So here I'll click on apply. And after you enter the coupon code, you'll see that the price dropped from $48 to $43 and you saved about $4.80. How about that? Now, once you enter that coupon code, you'll then click on continue. Next, you'll enter in your email address and a password and create an account with Hostinger. So here I'll put in my information. So once you put in your email address and your password, you'll then click on register. On the next page, you'll enter in your billing address. So you'll put in your first name, your last name, your address, and your social security number. I'm just kidding, no social, it's a joke, all right? But you'll fill out your billing information and then you'll click on continue. The next section is your payment. So you can actually pay with credit card. You can also pay with PayPal and Google Pay. So I'll fill out my credit card information here. So once you enter in your credit card info, you'll then click on submit payment. All right, so once your payment's done, you'll then click on get started. Next, it's gonna ask you if you wanna create a website or migrate. Just click on create a website and click on next. Now it's going to ask you to create your WordPress login details. This is the information you're gonna need to log into your WordPress website. So make sure that you write this down. Here, I'll put in my email address and then you can create a password and then you'll click on next. Next, it's gonna ask you how to build your website. Now we're gonna start with a blank site. So here at the bottom, you'll click on create blank sites. Now you're going to enter in your free domain. So right here is our free domain that we selected. And then I'll click on next. Now it's going to ask you to register your domain. This is important if you ever want to sell or transfer your domain later on. So right now I'm going to select United States. So I'll click on next step. And then here you'll enter in the contact details for your domain. And after you enter this in, you'll then click on finish registration. After we verify our domain, it's now going to ask us where our target audience is located. Now, since I'm in the United States, I'm going to put United States, Arizona, because I'm on the West Coast. So I'll select USA and then click on next. Okay, so now it's going to install WordPress onto your new domain. So just give this process like 1 minute. Now, once WordPress is done installing, it'll then prompt you into the WordPress dashboard. And this is essentially your new WordPress website. So if you want to see your website right now, here at the top left, I'll click on Visit Sites. And this is your new WordPress website. Pretty bland, pretty boring, but not to worry, we're gonna make this site look amazing. Now let's go over here and go back to our dashboard. Now, before we go on any further, we need to verify our email address with Hostinger. So let's go ahead and check our email, and you're gonna get 2 emails that you need to verify. The first is for your Hostinger account. So right here, you'll see verify your email address. And all you're gonna do is click on verify email, click on confirm, and that's going to confirm your new Hostinger account. All right, cool. Now you'll see that you're logged into your H panel with your Hostinger account. Now we also need to verify our domain. So let's go back to our email and check our inbox. And you're also gonna receive this email here. We also need to click this email as well. So under verify email, we'll select verify email. And our domain email is now verified. So here I'll click on continue to home. And this again logs you back into your H panel with Hostinger. Next, let me show you all how to log into your WordPress website. Now there's 2 ways. The first way is here we're gonna type in our new domain name. So it was wilsontutorials.com. So you'll enter in your domain name and then you'll enter in -wp-admin and then press enter. So next you'll enter in the password and the email that you use to sign up with WordPress. So here I'll enter in my details. After you enter in your email and your password, I'll click on remember me. Then I'll click on login. And congratulations, now we're logged into our new domain that we purchased. Now, in case you forgot your password or your email or for whatever reason, you can always log in through Hostinger. So under the website section, under website list, here you'll see our domain, and all you gotta do is click on WP admin, and this will actually log you directly into your WordPress website without any credentials. And then you're logged back in directly to your WordPress website. Now, before we go on any further, there is some settings that I just want to adjust in the general settings. So over here under users, let's click on profile. Now the first option is adjusting the color scheme. So here you can select a different color scheme for the back end of your WordPress websites. Scrolling down, you'll see that you can also update your email address. So if you want to change your email for whatever reason, you can do it here. And lastly, if you want to adjust your password for WordPress, you'll click on set new password under account management. And here you can go ahead and adjust and update your password for WordPress. Once you update your information, you can then click on update profile and save the changes. All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and click on dashboard. So in this part of the video, I'm gonna show you how to import a WordPress theme. Now, a WordPress theme essentially is the structure of your website. So we're gonna use the Blocksy theme. The Blocksy theme is hands down the #1 best e-commerce theme for WordPress. So in this part of the video, I'll walk you through how to import a free theme onto your e-commerce store. Y'all ready? Let's go. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is install a WordPress theme. But before we do that, I recommend to disable plugins. So over here under plugins, let's click on installed plugins. So here are the plugins that are active on your website, but I do recommend to disable plugins before you import templates because there can cause conflict. So to disable plugins, right here, I'll click on all plugins, go right here and click on deactivate. We can always turn these plugins back on a little bit later, but just to make sure the import process works smoothly, I recommend to disable all plugins. The next thing that we're gonna do is install a WordPress theme. So over here under appearance, let's click on themes. Here at the top, I'll click on add theme. Now every website with WordPress requires a WordPress theme. Now there's a huge variety of themes out there, but when it comes to building e-commerce website, there is one theme that stands out more than others. So here at the top under search themes, let's type in Blocksy. The Blocksy theme is hands down the #1 best rated e-commerce theme for WordPress. It offers the most features, great templates, and it's very simple to use. So over here under Blocksy, let's click on install. Next, let's click on activate. Okay, so once you install the Blocksy theme, right here, you're going to install the Blocksy Companion plugin. So go ahead and click on this button. All right, so once you install the Blocksy Companion plugin, it'll then bring you to the Blocksy dashboard. Here you can view the theme options, you can view starter sites. They also have some additional extensions you can add to your website, like cookie consents. Here is some plugins they recommend, and also here is the change log. So any sort of time they make an update, all the changes will be here automatically. And they actually do update this theme quite often, so you can always be certain that this theme is up to date and it's secure. So right here, let's go ahead and click on starter sites. Now here we have a huge list of templates you can install on your websites, but before we do that, over here under all plans, let's click on this and select free. And then for the builder, you want to select Elementor. So here is a list of available free e-commerce templates you can easily import on your websites. Now for this video, I recommend to follow me and select this template here. So we're gonna select this template called Garter Robe. This is the template right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna import this template, practice on it, and then after you understand the basics, you can then switch to any other template you choose. But to get started with, over here under Garter Robe, let's click on Import. The first thing you're gonna do is choose the page builder. Now, Gutenberg is terrible. Do not use that builder. It is the native builder with WordPress and it sucks. Everyone hates it. We're gonna go with Elementor, the #1 best page builder for WordPress. So go ahead and select Elementor and click on Next. Here you wanna make sure these are all selected. So this is going to import the theme options, the widgets, the content, and make sure that this is a clean install. So right here, I'll also click on Next. You want to make sure all these plugins are selected. This is the page builder, this is the contact form, and WooCommerce is the shopping cart integration. So right here, let's go ahead now and click on install. And now it's going to install all this on your website. So just give this process like 1 minute. Okay, so once the site has been imported, right here, you'll click on view site. And here we go. Just like that, we now have a brand new e-commerce website that was created for us in a matter of seconds. So here at the top, we have our menu, we have our landing page. Now you can obviously change this image to anything else, and I'll walk you through how to do that. Scrolling down, you'll see that we have some, just some upsells like that most e-commerce websites have, like free delivery, 30-day return, secure payment, and stuff like that. Below that, we have some dummy products. And then of course, you can just swap your products for these products here. Scrolling down, we have some product categories such as jackets, sweaters, and accessories. And below that, we have popular products. So maybe you want to put like your most trending products here, or even put a specific category. And then here we just have some upsells and more information about the website. So as you can see, the website imported successfully and it looks great. Let's go ahead now and scroll up. Now there's also a variety of pages. So here under the products page, this is actually your shop page. And what's great about Blocksy is that they import this really nice sidebar. They have a filterable gallery right here. They have top rated products. Here they have this upsell here on the left side. Maybe this is like a note from the owner saying, hey, we really care about quality and we're glad you're shopping on the websites. And then of course, here we have a list of all of the products. And then you also have just the other typical pages like the services page, about us page. So it'll import all these pages directly onto your website. So now that we have this website, now let's go ahead and talk about how to design this using the drag and drop page builder. Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm gonna show you all how to use the Elementor page builder. Now the Elementor page builder is relatively an easy drag and drop page builder. So I'll be showing you how to drag and drop elements, design the website, and after about an hour of using it, you'll be comfortable and you'll be a pro with Elementor. So in this part of the video, I'm gonna show you all how to utilize the Elementor page builder on your new e-commerce store. You ready? Let's go. Now let me give you all a 10-minute crash course on how to use the Elementor page builder. Now I recommend to start on a brand new page. So up here at the top, let's go to plus new and click on page. Now for the title, we're gonna put practice. You can obviously put any title you want because we're going to probably delete this page later. So here at the top right, I'll click on publish and publish. And now let's turn on the Elementor page builder. So here at the top, let's click on edit with Elementor and that'll turn on the page builder. Okay, here's a quick little banner from Elementor. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close that. Now, before we actually work on this, there is one quick option we need to select. So notice how we have this page title and I wanna get rid of it. So over here under the page settings, I'll click on page settings. We're gonna scroll down and over here under page layout, I just wanna make sure Elementor full width is selected. That'll make sure nothing is on the page and only the page builder is active. Hey party people, real quick update. Now Elementor V4 will be rolling out the new version in the next few months. Now this will be out sometime, I believe in April. So if you are seeing the Elementor V4 version, you're going to notice that you have atomic elements. Now, if you are building your website right now, you're gonna notice that you only have layout and basic, but later on down the road, they're gonna introduce atomic elements. Now you do not need to use these. These are more developer tools. So if you do see the atomic elements, you can completely ignore them. I'll make another video showing you how to use them, but most people building websites are not going to use the atomic elements. So I do recommend to just collapse the atomic elements and then just work with the basic layout and also the basic elements. So that was just a quick update you might see in the future. So let's go ahead and jump back to the video. Now, before we go on any further, I actually want to change this menu up here. Notice how it's a sticky menu and I kind of don't want that because it might interfere with the tutorial process. I'm going to open up the theme customizer. So to do that, let's go ahead and go to our website on a brand new tab. And over here, let's click on customize. Now we'll talk more about the theme customizer a little bit later, but I just want to take off the option for the sticky menu. Over here under the header section, I'll click on header, I'll click on headers, and I'll select global header. And here we have this icon that says sticky functionality. I just want to take this off, right? Because the menu might actually collide with the builder. So I definitely want to take that off. So once I do that, I'll then click on publish. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go back to our practice sheet right here. And let's just refresh the page. All right, cool. So now you'll see that when we scroll down, the menu doesn't really collide with the builder. So let's get started. Now here on the left side, you're going to see layout. These are essentially rows you can add on your websites. And below that, we have basic, and these are just basic elements that you can drag and drop onto the actual websites. Scrolling down here, we have pro elements. I don't really want to use the pro, so I'm going to collapse this. And then here we have general elements. And again, you can just go ahead and drag and drop these elements onto the actual page. So let's first start by creating a row. So right here, I'll click on plus. And then here we have two different boxes. We have Flexbox and Grid. I recommend the Flexbox. It's a lot easier to use and most people use the Flexbox. So I'm going to select Flexbox. And then here you can select a few different rows. Now here we have a down arrow and a right arrow. I'll explain what this means a little bit later. But for now, let's just select a 2-column row. And then you're going to see we have these row options, but I just want to go over here and click on add elements. Now let's go ahead and just drag in some elements onto these boxes. So over here, we have a heading. We can drag and drop. Now where you see that pink line right there, if you drop the elements, the actual element will now display. Also, I do recommend to close these small pop-ups right there. They're just trying to get you to upgrade to the Pro, and we don't need the Pro just yet. Now for every element that you drag onto your website, you're going to have 3 different tabs. You have the content tab. This controls the actual content inside of the actual elements. Then you have the style tab. This adjusts things like the fonts and the typography and also the size of the text. For example, you can change the size of the text and also you can change the fonts for your text as well. And then also you have the advanced tab. This controls things like the space and you can add in really cool things like motion effects. So you'll see under the padding option, you can add in space around your elements. Or if you want to get kind of crazy and wacky over here under motion effects, you can add in animations to all of your elements, something like that, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of cool things that you can add to your elements, right? Now you can also right click on an element and duplicate it and then also, drag and drop it like that. And you can also delete elements. So I'll right click and select delete, right click and select delete. Okay, so now we're back to square one. So now let's go ahead and just drag in some elements. So here we have the heading. Okay. Here I'll click on the add element again. Then I'll throw in an image, right? Throw in an image right here. Okay. Now, if you want to change the image right here, you'll select choose image, and then you can select an image. Now, these images were automatically imported when you imported the starter templates. So they have a variety of demo images that we can use. I'll go ahead and just select this guy right here and click on select. And then here, I'll go ahead and click on add elements. So maybe you want to talk about this guy. Maybe this is Daryl Wilson. So below that, I'll throw in the text editor and then you can talk about Daryl Wilson. And then below that, we can look for social icons, but I don't want to look for them right here. So I'm just going to type it in. So I'll just type in social and then we can drop that in right there. And then again, we can move this to the left, something like that. And then I'll click on the plus, and then maybe we can add in a button, and the button can redirect them to a LinkedIn or something else. So for the button right here, you're going to see that you can click on style, and then you can change the colors and everything else. For example, if you want like a flat black right here, I'll go ahead and choose the color, and we can change it to a flat black. And for the typography, we can change this to something like Poppins, right? Poppins bold. That is my favorite font, and there we go, right? I think that looks a lot nicer. And then for the link, what you can do here is you can just type in the name of the page. So for example, products. And what's really cool with Elementor is that it will actually pull up the link for all of the pages on your website automatically, which is really cool. So if someone clicks on this, it'll take them directly to the shop page. And then here, I'll just put shop now, right? Pretty simple. Now over here, we can also go ahead and right click and duplicate, drag and drop. Okay. And same thing, duplicates images, and also drag and drop. So as you can tell, it's a very fluid builder. After probably spending, maybe 15, 20 minutes with it, you'll definitely get the hang of this builder. Now, just like we duplicated these rows, you can also duplicate full-on columns. So for example, here we have this column setting. I'm just going to right click on this container and click on duplicate. And now you're going to see that we have 3 rows right here. So next, let's talk about the Flexbox. Now the Flexbox is vital and it's very important you learn how to use it. For example, on my website right here, you'll notice that we have the Flexbox being used. We have text, 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 and then we have these two buttons side by side. This is a very common web design practice. So let me show you how to implement this with the Flexbox. Let's go back to over here to our websites. Now the first thing I want to do is create a 2-column row. So right here, I'll click on plus, select the Flexbox, and then I'll go ahead and click on the 2 columns. Here I will select the add elements, and then we're going to throw in some elements. So here I'll put in a text editor, and I just want a little bit, just a little bit, just to introduce the heading. Next, I'll throw in the heading. And then below that, I will throw in a text editor. Now here's where the Flexbox becomes very useful. Now, if we go ahead and we throw in a button right here, right? And then we also throw in another button, you're gonna notice that it's stacked on top of each other and there's no way to really organize these buttons, because on my website, you're gonna see that these evenly align side by side in a really clean format. That's where the Flexbox becomes very useful. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click on this, delete, right click and delete. And instead of adding a button, we're now going to throw in a container. So right here, I'm gonna drag and drop a container just like that. And then we're going to throw in some buttons. So right here, I'll drop the button and then I'll go ahead and duplicate this. Now I want to style these buttons just so that they are distinct from one another. So under the background color, I'll go ahead and make this one black and I'll make this one red just so that we can see what we're working with. Okay, just like that. So next, let's talk about how to rearrange these elements. So here I'm going to click on the container and now we're going to justify and use the Flexbox here. So here we have that direction. Remember earlier under this section right here, we had that direction very similar to this. This is called the Flexbox. So essentially what we're doing here is, here we have different directions. Now, if I select horizontal, these elements will now be horizontal from one another. So here I'll select horizontal and there you go. Now you're gonna see that all the elements are horizontal from one another. You can also do reversed, and you can also, reverse the buttons here as well. And you can sort of use the Flexbox to manipulate all the elements inside of the Flexbox. Now also here we have justify content. So this is where you can control it more. So for example, we can put it in the center, the end, space between, space around, space evenly, or if you just want to add in more space like that manually, you can also go ahead and go that route. So there's a lot of various ways on how to manipulate these elements. And this is the best web design practice to make sure that your elements are optimized for all devices. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and, leave it like that. Now, really quick, I'm going to make this text a little bigger, just like our other, just like our other website. So under the typography, I'm going to make this a little bit larger. Okay. And for the weights, I'll make this bold. Now notice here how, we have 2 columns, but this one's taking up way too much space. So what we can do here is under this container for the width, we can increase the actual width. So we can actually make this one bigger than the other. And that's also very common because if you have a small image, you don't really need it to take up all the website, right? So that's one way on how you can, leverage the width between each column. Now also notice here how this column, it's just kind of like, it's not long enough, right? It's kind of short. We can actually make this longer. So over here, I'll click on the container and here we have minimum height. Now, if you do want a full width page like this, like my websites, you're gonna change this option to 100 VH. It even says right here, to achieve full height container, use 100 VH. However, I recommend to do that from this specific option because that's going to do it for the entire section, right? So for the minimum height, I'm gonna change this to 100, and then for pixel, we're gonna change it to VH. And essentially what that does here, hold on, there we go, like that, there we go, okay. Yeah, sometimes it gets weird. Anyways, so yeah, now you'll see that we have this full width landing page. So now I want to manipulate these elements inside of this container. We can also use the Flexbox options to manipulate these elements. So for example, I'll click on this section now, and then for the justify content, we can now go ahead and rearrange these specific elements inside of this, right? So this makes a lot more sense. You can also hit reverse, and then you're gonna see it reverses it. Or if you wanna get crazy, you can put horizontal, but as you can see, there's not enough space in this box to make all of them horizontal, so it comes out really weird. So make sure that you select vertical. And then here we have center, which looks really clean, right? It has a really nice, a really nice style, really straight to the point. I do like that look. And then on the right side, we can just throw in an image. So over here, add elements, take image, and then go ahead and choose an image. And then this can be like a, I don't know, beautiful woman or something, right? There we go. So as you can tell, it's very simple to use Elementor, and the Flexbox really comes in handy. And just in case you want to further customize your website, here under the 6 dots, I think just maybe like a small background color would make the sites like perfect, right? So over here, we can just add in like a subtle tint of gray, and then there you go. You just now have a beautiful landing page that we've created in a matter of seconds. So that is pretty much a quick overview on how to use the Elementor page builder. So here at the top right, I'll click on publish. And now we can close out of this. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can either go ahead and go over here to view page, and this takes you back to the actual page or the website, where if I click on home, you can just go ahead and navigate the website as before. Or if you go over here to the Elementor logo and click on exit to WordPress, this will then take you into the back end of WordPress. So if you want to create a page or adjust your menu, it just brings you right back here to the dashboard of WordPress. And now that we have a good understanding of how to use the Elementor page builder, now let's go ahead and adjust the home page. So over here, let's click on edit with Elementor. Now real quick, when the author created this template, they use a transparent header. So right here, you'll see that it's a bit transparent. And the problem with this is that it forces Elementor to go up here, but we can't really access that. The first thing that we're gonna have to do in order to continue this building process is to disable the transparent header. So what I want you to do is go over to your website on a brand new tab, and over here, you'll click on customize. Now I really don't like jumping back and forth between the theme customizer because I want to create a dedicated section for this, but we first need to disable this. So under the header section, if I click on header and click on global header, I want to disable the transparent functionality. So I'm going to disable this, and you're going to see the image now goes down. It's not going up into the menu no more. So it's creating more space for us. So here I'll click on publish. And we'll go back to our building process right here. And all I'm going to do is just refresh the page. So now you'll see this makes a lot more sense. We can add in more sections and design the actual home page as needed. Now there's a few things I want to do here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of the padding. So up here under the 6 dots, under the advanced section, we no longer need so much padding, right? So there you go. I think that's good. Now here we have this text on the left side and we have this image on the right side. Now many of you probably want to change this image. This is a really weird looking image, right? So I'm going to right click on the background and click on edit container. Here I'll go to the style option and I just want to change this image. Now on my other demo websites, the one that I was practicing on earlier, I use this image right here. I will put this in the video description so you guys can also follow along. So this image right here is available in a folder. And once you download it, all you got to do is just take it and just drag and drop it, and it'll automatically be uploaded to WordPress. So I'll select the image and then click on select. Okay. Now I know right now you're like, wait a minute, this looks really weird. And that's just because we have a custom position on. The first thing I want to do is I want to take the custom position off. So I'm just going to put this in the, I'll just select default for now. And now you're going to see that we have the image. Now over here, we have some other options. So for display size, I want to take this and I want to put it as cover. What cover does is it actually forces the image to cover the entire landing page. So you'll have a really nice looking, full screen landing page. And then now we need to adjust the position. So over here, I think center right is good. Too much. Center left. Too much. And then we have center, which is just perfect. Now, obviously this text, we shouldn't be using black text on a black background, right? So I'm going to click on the text over here and just change this to whites. Text color, whites. Over here, same thing. Text color, whites. And here we have something new. We have an icon box. So same thing, style. And for the icon, here we go. Make that whites. Oh, sorry, I meant over here, the content, we'll change that to whites. Now here's a cool trick. I'm going to right click on this element right here and click on copy. Now these elements are all the same. So I'm going to right click, paste the style, and then also right click and paste the style. So the copy and paste works with the same elements. So you can copy the style from one element and give it to another. Now for this button over here, remember earlier how we used the Flexbox? I'm just going to drag in a container, put this right here, duplicate it, and then use the Flexbox to make this, to make it look a little bit more, give it more design, because that one button's not enough. This here can be something like products, and this one could be something like contact us. And of course, I showed you earlier how to do this. So all you gotta do is type in the name of the page, so contacts. And then for products, we can just type in products, and this will take them to the actual shop page. Really cool. And of course, you can always, adjust the topography and everything else as needed. I'm a big fan of Poppins. So over here, Poppins bold, I like Poppins. So for the rest of my website, I do want to use Poppins. I like that font, looks pretty clean. And if I close this, you'll now see that I have a really cool looking landing page that we made in just a few seconds. Let's talk about mobile optimization. So mobile optimization means making sure your websites look good on mobile devices and also tablets. When a website is mobile optimized, it adjusts to fit the smaller screen size of phones and tablets, and it makes it easier for users to navigate your websites. Always make sure your website is fully optimized for all devices to ensure that your users have a good experience. Okay, so now let's talk about mobile optimization. Now, when you're editing your website with Elementor, here at the top, you have 3 different options. You have desktop, portraits, and then you have mobile portraits. So this is what your website looks like from these specific devices. Let's first optimize our website for tablets. Now, the first thing you'll see is that we have these 2 buttons. I want to make this so they're more in the centered. So in order to do that, there's a few ways. Here, I'll click on Flexbox. Now, when you're editing your website in this tablet portrait view, you're gonna notice that now you have all these options for tablet portraits. So for example, for the justify contents, I don't have to click anything because we've already selected it. But here you'll see that you can go ahead and choose a specific device. I'm gonna put this in the center, and this will now align this in the center. Next thing I wanna do is maybe change this image. Now, I'm gonna right click over here and click on Edit Container. And here under Style, you're gonna see that there is an option for image. And what's really cool with Elementor is you can now change the image for each individual device. So I'll select the portraits, and then I'll choose an image. And let's say for the tablet users, I want them to see this background image. So I'll click on Select. And now this is my new image for the tablet device. Now really quick, I'm gonna collapse this background and click on Background Overlay. Now also what's really unique is we can actually apply a background overlay, because notice here, I can't really see this text because the background is too light. Under the color, what I'm gonna do here is select a darker color, and we can increase the opacity. Now notice here when I'm editing all of this, this is staying under the tablet portraits. So here you'll see that we can actually make this a little bit darker. Now, of course, this might not be practical. You might want to keep the same image, but I'm just demonstrating that you can completely change the background for each individual device. Now let's scroll down. Now this website automatically is optimized. And also when you create products, they will automatically be optimized by WooCommerce. Okay, and scrolling down, we're gonna see this section. Now, let's just say, for instance, you wanna make this centered. Maybe for specific tablet devices, you're saying, I want this in the centered. You can always use the Flexbox and just center align the content in the center. Okay, there we go. And we can do the same thing for these other containers. So we'll center that one. And also we will center this one as well. Scrolling down, now also I do want to mention that you can also manipulate each specific element, and you can also hide elements on specific devices. So for example, maybe for this specific text, you want to make this text larger. So for the style section under topography, I'll make sure the tablet portrait is selected, and then we can increase the size of this specific text. Now again, this is only being applied for the tablet devices. Now let's say, for example, sometimes you have images that are just way too large. We can hide specific elements for specific devices. Here I'll click on the pencil icon and go to the advanced section. We're gonna scroll down, just keep scrolling, and we're gonna find responsive. Here I can choose to hide this on tablet portraits, so I'll go ahead and hide this, and I'll also hide this on mobile. Now what's really cool with this is you can also do this for sections and even columns. So you can use that for columns, sections, and elements. Scrolling down, I think everything else looks pretty good here. Maybe this section might need a little bit of work. I'll go ahead and make sure this is in the centered. Okay, and then also we're going to make sure that this text is also in the centered. This section here will actually propagate more products. So I know it doesn't look that optimized, but once we have more products, it'll look really clean. Scrolling down, I think that's everything. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And this here is our footer. Now let's go ahead and click on the mobile portraits. Now for the mobile portrait, we can go ahead and either change the background or we can leave this. And scrolling down, I think everything is optimized by default, but we can just take a quick look here, make sure everything looks good. Jackets looks good, sweaters and everything else. But yeah, here you'll see that the image is grayed out, and that's because we hid it for the mobile devices. So you just want to make sure that you go through your website and fully optimize all parts of your website just to make sure that it's optimized for all devices. Now, if we click on the desktop, you're going to see the background change. So right now it sees closed in the background, but if we make it on the desktop, it will then rechange it to the actual guy right here because this is the default image for desktop devices. So that is how you can fully optimize your website for all devices. Once you're done, you'll just click on Publish. Next, let's talk about how to create pages and also how to add them to the menu. So let's go over here to the WordPress dashboard. So I'll click on Exit to WordPress. Then I'll click on the WordPress logo, and then I'll go to Dashboard. Now here is where all your pages are located, and here is where all of your posts are located. Now over here, I'm gonna click on all pages, and it's gonna bring us back to the pages section. And these are all the pages on your websites. Now, if you wanna delete a page, here, for example, we have a refund and return policy page that we don't need, it's draft. So I'll click on trash, and that'll delete the page. Now, if you wanna create a brand new page, here at the top, I'll click on add page. And this will be like our team, right? Our team. At the top right, I'll click on publish and publish, and then we can design this page using Elementor. So here, I'll turn on the page builder. And in this specific case, I'm gonna use the AI. So right here, I'll select Elementor AI. Here, I'll click on generate. Now, I'll be honest, the AI builder with Elementor is not the best, but it can be useful sometimes. Okay, so as you can see, I asked it to create a 3-column row, but it created 4, but that's not bad. So I'm gonna select this one here and click on use layouts. All right, and I'm just gonna delete one section. Okay, there we go. So now we have a 3-column row, and I'm just gonna add in some images here. Okay, so I went ahead and I just uploaded the images, and then of course you just gotta change the names right there. But what I wanna do here is I wanna now publish this. So at the top right, I'll click on publish. Now I want to assign this page to the menu. So notice how we created this page, but it's not on the menu. So let's go back to WordPress. So over here, exit to WordPress. And then scrolling down, I'll go over here to Appearance and click on Menus. Okay, so this is the menu that was automatically created when you imported the Blocksy template. Now right here under Pages, I'll click on View All. And this is a list of all the pages on your websites. Now I just created that Our Team page. So here, I'll select Our Team and click on Add Menu. And then I'll take this and I'll just put it right here. Now, if you want a drop-down menu, for example, here I'll take this and I'll put it under Services. When a user hovers over Services, the Our Team will then be displayed. So I'll just go ahead and leave that for now. I also want to talk about custom links. So over here, let's just say, for example, you got like a Facebook page or a Facebook group or a school or something. Here I'll go ahead and paste the URL for our Facebook group. And then here I'll put Facebook group. All right, group. And then I'll click on Add to Menu. Now we can take that and put it under Contacts. And then I'll click on Save Menu. All right, so let's take a look at our website. So over here, we have the services, and now we have a drop down for Our Team. I'll click on Our Team. And then we have that page that we created with AI. Also, if I go over here and click on the actual Facebook group, it'll then redirect users to my Facebook group as well. So that's how you can create pages and also how to add them to the menu. All right, now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the actual contact form. So over here, you'll see that under the contact page, you have a contact form. Now we need to make some modifications, and we also need to incorporate an SMTP in order for this form to work. So let's go over here to our dashboard. Now the first thing I wanna do is go over here under WP Forms and click on All Forms. Now this is a free plugin that automatically generates a contact form for your websites. So here, I'll click on Simple Contact Form. And this is where you can basically modify your contact form. So for example, if you want users to add something else, like maybe like some more text, over here, I'll just drop in a paragraph text. And then this could be like, you know, what's your city or something, right? So yeah, you can sort of like add to this, and you know, you can keep adding more to this form right here. You can also choose to make it required. Now, once you actually go through the process here and you build your form how you would like, you can go ahead and save it. So here at the top right, I'll click on save. Now, in case you're curious, I actually have an hour video dedicated to this specific contact form, but I just don't want to spend too much time going over this contact form. Over here, let's click on settings and let's click on notifications. Now, I do recommend to turn this on. This will make it so that these emails will be sent to whatever email that you use to sign up with WordPress. So here, I'll click on save. Now, what we can do is we can actually test this out. Now, I'll be very honest with all of you. This probably will not work. It does sometimes, depending on the hosting configurations. I recommend to watch this video right here. I'll put this in the video description. This will make it where it'll force all the emails from your website to go directly to emails and also your inbox. It's a free plugin to use. So I'll put this video in the description just to make sure that your contact forms are all working on your new e-commerce website. Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm gonna walk you through the theme customizer. Now, the theme customizer for Blocksy allows you to customize the header, the footer, and also the shop page of your websites. You might have noticed here that if you go to the shop page, there is no area where you can edit this page with Elementor. That's because this page is being controlled by the theme. Also, for your product pages here as well, the same thing. The theme customizer will be able to customize this product page as well. So let's get started. Here at the top, you'll see this customize button. Go ahead and click on this, and this will turn on the theme customizer. So I'll be going over the most important options in the Blocksy theme, and this will give you an understanding of how the Blocksy theme works. The first option I want to show you all is under the general tab, you can choose to have a scroll to top button on your website. So at the bottom right, if you scroll down, you'll now see that there's this scroll to top. And for the Blocksy theme, you'll see that there's these arrows whenever you open something. This allows you to further extend and customize the actual scroll to top, where you can change the color and also the icon. You can also add a really cool website frame here as well, where if you want a website frame, you can go ahead and add a frame right here. Some people like, it's actually a pretty cool effect. I do like it. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting where you can add a website frame to your websites. Let's go ahead and go back over here. Now let's talk about one of the more important options, which is the header builder. Now Blocksy has their own header builder, which essentially allows you to custom build your own header from scratch. Now how this works is over here, you're gonna see you have elements and you can drag and drop these elements onto the actual header. Now here you'll see that I threw in a button right here on the top row. Now when you click on the button, you'll also notice here that you can fully customize every single element with the Blocksy theme. The general tab just shows like the general options like the size, label text, and a few other options. And they also have a design tab. This allows you to control the font and the color and also add in things like border radius. So let's go ahead and go back here and then I'll click on elements. Now really quick, so for Blocksy, you can make up to 3 different rows, the top row, the main row, and then the bottom row. If you throw in something on the bottom row and nothing is there, you're going to now see that a 3rd row appears right here. And again, if you want to customize any single one of these elements right here, just go ahead and click on this. For example, for the menu element right here, we can go ahead and change the style of the actual menu. For example, now we have this kind of hover effect when we hover over the menu item, pretty cool. And then here we have this other animation, which also looks really unique. So you can go through these options right here and custom build your own menu from scratch if you want to go that route. Here, I'll go ahead and delete menu 2. Now, I personally recommend to always have the menu, have an account and cart. This will showcase the actual account section where they can log in and view their account and their orders. And the cart will display how many products are in the cart. So I do recommend to always have the account and cart on the menu if you decide to build your own custom menu. Now, if you want to change the background color of any of these rows, right here, I'll click on the gear icon and under the design tab, this is where you can change the background color, right? You can also change the size of the actual, the menu as well, just in case you want it too large. So that's how you can add a background color and also change the size of each individual row. Let's go ahead and go back. Now here we have the footer as well. So I'll click on footer and let's go ahead now and scroll down. So here we have the footer. Now the footer works a little differently. So the footer uses widgets. Now widgets are basically elements that are native to the Gutenberg page builder. So for example, the first thing I want to do is I want to add a 2-column row in the middle row. So I'll click on middle row and then right here, I'm going to select 2 columns. Okay, so now we have one column and we also have two columns. You can also adjust the size of the columns for each specific row. Here, I'll go back and I'm gonna drag in widget area 6 right over here. Then I'll click on widget area 6. Now here you're gonna see that we have this plus, right? And this is where we can add in blocks. Now here I'll click on browse all, and this essentially allows you to add in blocks. So what you would do here is you can go ahead and add in blocks in the footer of your website. Now let's just say, for instance, I want to just throw in some text. So over here, I'll go ahead and select paragraph. All right, cool. So there I put in some text. Now let's say, for instance, you want to throw in something else below that. So here we have the plus, and then we'll do the same thing, browse all. And then I can find something else, maybe related to WooCommerce or something. So let's go ahead and scroll down. So I'll go ahead and select this product list. And then you can see that we have 5 products showing. Now I probably just want to show like maybe 1 or 2 because I don't want this thing to get too long. So I'll just go ahead and just put 2. And then it'll just display 2 products. Okay, so that is pretty much how you can create your own custom footer. I personally recommend to just have one row right here with just 4 widgets. I think this is practical and most websites typically practice this web design practice. So let's go ahead and go back now and let's talk about the shop page. So let's go ahead and scroll up. And here I'll click on products. Now the product page is being controlled by Blocksy. So on the left side, if I scroll down here, I'll go to product archives. And this is essentially referring to the actual shop page. Now the first option you can do is display a page title. So here I can actually turn this off and then the page title will then disappear. If you want the page title on, you can turn that on. And then there are further customization options you have when you click on this arrow. So here we have type 1. And then we have type 2. You can also choose to change the alignments of this as well if you want to go that route. You can also choose to hide elements. So if you don't want those breadcrumbs, you can hide the breadcrumbs, right? So that'll disappear. If you want to actually further customize any of those elements, you can actually click on that arrow and then there's more styling options for this as well. If you click on design, this is where you can adjust the font and the color for this area right here. If we scroll down, you can also adjust the color of the background as well if you want to go that route. Let's go ahead and click on general. Now I personally think type 1 is a little bit more, I don't know, I think this is just more easier, right? I think this is more common with e-commerce stores. So I'm going to select this one here. Now just remember, if you do want to hide the title, if you think that's too redundant, you can just go ahead and turn that off and then voila, we now have this basic shop page. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back. So here we have another option for the shop settings. So here we have type 1 and then here we have type 2. You'll see this kind of looks a little bit different, right? They've just sort of reorganized the buttons and everything else. You can also control the number of columns and rows. So for example, here we have 2 columns. If you want to further extend this, you can always add in more columns for your products if you want to, increase the column width and everything else. So for my shop page, I'll go ahead and select the type 1 and then select 3 rows and also 3 columns. The next option is card options. Now this is where you can control what the products actually display. For example, if you do not want to show like maybe the star rating, here I'll close the star rating. And then the star rating will now disappear. If you want to maybe hide the price, here I'll click on the I for the price, and then you'll now see the price is gone. Now, if you want to further extend these options, for example, the title, here click on the arrow, and then here you can adjust, some more information about the title. So each of these elements have their own styling options. For example, the price, you can change like the space, add a little bit of spacing in between there. So I'll go ahead and return back on the star rating. Now here we have short description. So whenever you write description for your products, you can choose to have that display. So now you'll see that every single product also displays the description about the actual product. I personally think that's a little bit too much, so I'll go ahead and disable mine. Next, you can choose the content alignments. So you can change alignments of the actual product images. The next option is the content alignment. Here you can put the content in the left, in the center, or in the right. I think in the center, I think that makes the most sense. So I'll leave that there. And then scrolling down, we have column gap where you can add a little bit of gap between each product, and then the same thing with the actual rows. So this is how you can fully customize the actual shop page using the Blocksy theme options. So next, let's talk about this sidebar right here. Now, what's really cool is when you're editing this actual website, you can just go ahead and click on edit right here, and it'll actually take you to the styling options. Now you can choose to have a sidebar on the left side, or on the right side. But I think most shops today put the sidebar on the left side, right? So here I'll go back and then let's scroll down right here. So here we have sidebar. Now you can choose to turn the sidebar off. So if you do not want a sidebar, you can just go ahead and turn that off. If you want to turn it on, you can turn that on right there. And then over here, you'll see that this takes us back to that section where we can add it to the left and right side. Now I bet you guys are wondering, well, how do we add in widgets right here? So let's go ahead and go back. And really quick, let's go ahead now and scroll up. Here we have an option for sidebar. Now, before I show you all how to actually further design this and customize it, you can change the design here. So Blocksy has styling options where you can add in like the sidebar width. You can go ahead and adjust the gap. And then here is all the styling options for the actual sidebar. You can also add in like a background color if you want to go that route. You can change like the fonts and everything else. So here's all the styling options for the actual sidebar. Now, let's say for example, okay, that's cool, we can style it, but how do I add the actual widgets? Let's go ahead and go back here. We're gonna scroll down to the bottom under core, and then you're gonna see widgets. Here you're gonna see WooCommerce sidebar. And this is where we can go ahead and add in more widgets. Now, you remember earlier how we decorated the actual footer of the websites? This is also the same way where we can add in widgets for the sidebar for WooCommerce. Now, here's a list of all of the widgets that you can add to your sidebar. Now, I think product filters, this is actually a really popular one. Now, once we drag in those filters, you'll now see on the right side, we can filter by price, by rating, also by category, and then the status, whether it's in stock or not. We will talk more about how to make product categories a little bit later, but this allows you to have users select each individual category just to make it easier to shop on your websites. Now here we have this one filter by price. We don't really need this one anymore because this one already has it. So I want to get rid of this. So I think over here, I'll just click on the three dots and delete that and make sure that I get rid of it. There we go. So now we just have the, now we just actually have these filters right here. So we have the price, the rating, and so on and so forth. Try to use different widgets. I think another one that I want to add is I want to add the mini carts. So I'm going to take this and drop it right here. And when users add something to the cart, it's also going to display in the sidebar. So it'll remind them that they have specific products in their shopping cart. Now, once you actually go through this and you add in specific widgets, you'll then click on publish. And after we do that, you can then see that we have a really nice looking filterable section. So we have the price, rating, category, status, and then here we have our top rated products. So that is how you can customize the shop page and also add in filters for your shop page. Next, let's talk about the product page. So here I'll go ahead and go back and we're going to now go click on single product. And then we're going to click on one of these products. Now the product page works very similar to the shop page. So the first thing that you can do over here is you can choose to have a specific title. So here we have type 2 and then also we have type 1. You can also choose to show like the title, the excerpt, and the post meta for your specific product if you want to go that route. You can also choose to change the design of the product title right here. Okay, so this will change like the color and everything else. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click on back. Now here you can actually adjust the single product. Okay, now here you can adjust the actual single product structure. So here you'll see that we also have filters on the right side. I personally think that we don't need filters on the product page. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm gonna select normal width. And what that does, it just creates a very standard product page where we have the image on the left side, we have the title, description, and then here you just can add it to the cart. You can also choose a wide option or a box option. I do like the box style because it just makes the single product a little bit more compact and easier to add to the cart. The next option is the vertical elements, and this really doesn't do much. It just creates like a little bit of space in like random areas. I don't really use it too much, so I just put top and bottom, you know? Below that, we actually have the product gallery and then the product elements. This might be a little bit more important. So for example, see when I hover over this, it has that zoom effect. You can go ahead and turn that off. So when they hover over it, it no longer zooms. And then you have a few other options that you can mess with for the single product gallery image, which is this section here. You can also choose to make this image bigger, or you can go ahead and make it smaller. As you can tell, you have a lot of customization with the Blocksy theme, and that's pretty much why we chose this theme, right? Going back over here, we also have product elements. Now, if you do want to show specific elements on this page, you can turn them on or off here. For example, here I'll turn on breadcrumbs. And then you'll see at the top, the breadcrumbs now displayed. Here at the bottom, we have payment methods. I actually do like payment methods. So if we scroll down, you'll see now we have this guaranteed safe checkouts. And then below that, we can actually add the credit cards, and we can also add in PayPal as well. Discover, I don't know if those guys are even around no more. So if they are around, someone let me know in the comments. I haven't used a Discover card in like 10 years, you know, so yeah. But here I'll go ahead and close that. And then also we have this reasons to buy. Let's go ahead and check that out. So I do like the reasons to buy. I think this adds a lot more security to the actual purchase. Here you can go ahead and further adjust every single title. Now what I want to do is I want to take the reasons to buy and I want to put it up. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right above the short description. And after doing that, I would say we have a really strong looking product page. We have the price, we have extra features, description, and you know what? I want to take the payment methods and put it above the actual add to carts. There we go. So now we also have that guaranteed safe checkout. So overall, you know, we have a really strong looking product page, and this is how you can fully design and customize every element on your single product page. Also for the design section, you can further customize all of the colors and everything else for your product page. Let's go ahead and go back. Now, if you want to change the actual color of this background right here under the design tab, you can actually change the color. So for example, if you want to, you know, change it up a little bit, you can also use a gradient if you want to use gradients, and they have a variety of different gradients to choose from, which, you know, I thought was really cool. You know, they just have so many options inside of this theme. It's crazy. And I know many people might think that's crazy to use all this stuff, but at least you have the options and the flexibility to design your product page any which way you want. Now, the very last option is going to be the account page. So right here, I'll click on account page. Now you can access your account page by simply just typing your website, you know, -my-accounts, and then you'll press enter. And this will take you to the account page. Now, every time a user buys something on your website, they'll be redirected to their account page where they can view their orders right here. They can also view downloads if you're selling digital downloads. Here, they can update their address and then also update their account details. Now, here I'll go ahead and click on customize. And then I'll go to the general section and then go to the accounts. And here you can go ahead and use an avatar. Here you'll show you a little avatar and you can make the avatar bigger. You can also display the username, and then use some navigational quick links. And then also you can go to the design tab right here, and then you can go ahead and adjust these other colors if you want to go that route. So the theme does give you some styling options, but you can also override this and use Elementor. So let's go ahead and click on publish, and let's go ahead now and close out of the theme customizer. So that is the theme customizer in a nutshell. It allows you to fully customize the header, the footer, the shop page, and also the product page of your website. Now, really quick, I'm gonna go over here to the actual cart. Now, you cannot use Elementor on the shop and product page, but you can use it on the carts and also the checkout and the account page. So for example, here under the cart page, I'll click on edit page. And for some reason, Elementor doesn't come up on the front end, but it does come up on the back end. So here, I'll click on edit with Elementor. Okay, so here is the actual cart page. Now, in the pro version of Elementor, if I type in cart, you'll see that there is a menu cart where you can actually go ahead and use a very customizable cart widget to display here, but we don't need to do that right now. So what you can do here is, let's say you want to further add more to this. Now this part right here, you cannot customize it because it is being used by WooCommerce. So it is a WooCommerce shortcode. However, you can manipulate it. So for example, for the style section, you can go ahead and adjust the typography. So for example, here, I'll put in Popups. Okay, so now see the text change. And then we can also make it like bold or something, right? So you can actually influence this a little bit. You can also go ahead and, you know, reduce the size of this. So if you want to like make it a little bit smaller, you can go ahead and do that. So yeah, you can manipulate this and influence it, but you can't modify what's inside of the actual shortcode. Now you can go ahead and add an element on this page. So for example, if you want to throw in like something else here, if you want to throw in like some upsells, like images, like buy this, you can go ahead and fully customize this page. If you want to get rid of this carts title right here, all you got to do is go to page settings, scroll down, and then click on Elementor full width. And this will actually disable the title for the cart page. So now we're just brought to this. And honestly, it's probably better off you do that, because then you can just type in cart right here And then you can go ahead and, fully design and customize this page how you want. So that is a shortcut on how to use the Elementor page builder with the cart page. Again, you can also do this for the account page as well if you want to get really customizable with your cart page and also your My Account page. All right, party people, in this part of the video, I'm gonna walk you through how to create products for your e-commerce store. So I'll first show you how to create a simple product. A simple product is just like it sounds. It's a product with no variables, just only the add to cart button. Then I'll show you how to create variable products. Now, variable products are more common. Those are essentially where you have different sizes and colors, like clothing or shoe size or something else. So I'll walk you through how to create variable products as well in this part of the video. So with that said, let's go ahead and create some products for your new e-commerce store. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the theme customizer. Now let's move on and talk about how to create products for your e-commerce store. So let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. Here, I'll go to dashboard. Now, before we talk about products, I just want to talk about the plugin that's making this all possible. So over here under plugins, I'll click on add plugin. Now the plugin that we're using is called WooCommerce. So here I'll type it in, WooCommerce. And this is the plugin that was automatically installed when we imported the Blocksy starter templates. Now, WooCommerce is the #1 most popular e-commerce plugin for WordPress. It has more than 7 million active installs. And this is what we're using for creating a shopping cart on our websites. So here, I'll go ahead and close that. And over here, you see that we have WooCommerce. And I don't really go through the WooCommerce options too much because a lot of them, you don't really need it, but let's just check them out. So first we have the orders tab. Anytime someone buys something on your website, they'll be displayed right here. The next is the customer tab. Anytime a customer purchases anything on your websites, they will all be displayed right here. You'll see the username, their email, and everything else. Here you can create coupons under the coupon section. This is where you can add coupons onto your e-commerce store. Going over here, we have reports. This is where you'll see a list of all of your reports for your sales. Also, if you click on WooCommerce Analytics, they've actually created an upgraded version of this where it'll show you your total sales. You'll see the net sales, the orders, products sold, and other information under the Analytics section right here. And the last section is the settings. Now, the settings is probably the most important part, and we're gonna cover this in just a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and talk about products. So over here, we have products. Let's click on all products. So here's a list of all the products on your store. We have the product name, the stock, the price, the category, and then also we have the published date. Now here we have something like tags and brands and SKU numbers. If you want to hide specific sections, here I'll click on screen options. And let's say, for example, I don't want brands showing up. So brands, I'll hide that. And then also I'll hide tags. Here we can also hide the SKU number if we want to go that route. Then I'll click on apply. All right, cool. Now, all these products right here are demo products. So what we can do is we can go ahead and delete these. So here I'll click on the checkbox under bulk actions. I'll move to trash and then I'll click on apply. All right, cool. So now they're in the trash. And if I click on trash, you're going to see that's where all of the trash products will be displayed. Think about it like a recycling bin. So let's go ahead now and create our first product. Let's create a simple product. Here at the top, I'll click add new product. So first we'll give our product a name. So I'm gonna type in black t-shirt. And then here we have product description. Now this product description will be displayed below your product. So for example, here's one of our products, right? Now this is called the short description. The long description, that's right here. So this product description will be displayed here at the bottom. So this would be something like where it's made, the technicals, but not necessarily trying to sell them. So here I'll just put in some dummy content, okay? Below that, we'll go ahead and scroll down. Now we have product data. So we have simple product, group product, affiliate product, and a variable product. Now we're just going to be covering the simple and the variable. These are probably the two most common products you're going to be using. So here I'll select simple product. You can also choose to make this virtual and even downloadable. So if you want to offer downloadable files here under add file, you can just go ahead and add those right there. But I'm not gonna do that, but you can if you want, but I'll just go ahead and just make this a basic product for now. So let's say, for example, this black t-shirt costs $100, but it's on sale for 50 bucks. And we are going to offer a sale schedule. So here under sale schedule, we can go ahead and run a sale from the 6th all the way to the 31st. Next, we have inventory. So if you have a SKU number, you can display it right here. I'll go ahead and put it in. So next we have stock management. So do you want to showcase how many quantities you have in stock on your store? If you want, you'll go ahead and check that. If not, you'll just leave it unchecked. For example, here under quantity, I'll just put that I have 10. Do you want to allow back orders? That means if the product is sold out, do you want to allow more orders? I'll say sure, but notify the customer. Next, we have low stock threshold. So when you want to be notified when you're running low on this specific item, I'll put 3. So when I get down to 3 quantity, I'll then get notified that we're running low on inventory. Next, we have shipping. Here you can add in the weight and the dimensions for each product. Here, I'll just go ahead and put 1. For the length, I'll put 20. Here, I'll put 28. And for the height, I'll put 24 inches. So next we have upsells, and we also have cross sells. An upsell is basically recommending a product when you are currently viewing this specific product. So if I'm viewing this product, I can add an upsell maybe here at the bottom of the actual product. So that's an example of an upsell. Cross-sell is recommending a product at checkout. So if I add this product to the cart, you can then recommend other products. And I'll give you an example a little bit later. So for example, we have this snap cap. Here, I'll go ahead and put in this item right here. Okay. And here we have attributes. Now this does not apply to us because this is only for variable products. So we'll come back to this a little bit later. And then here we have the product short description. Now this is the most important part of the product. So this text right here is considered the product short description. So for example, if I take this and copy this and I paste it in here, this is going to be the description the customer first sees. Now let's go ahead and scroll up. Now on the right side, we have product image. So what image represents this specific product? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and select the black t-shirt. Let's go ahead and see if we can find it. There we go, black t-shirt, okay. And then below that, we have product gallery images. So what other images do you have about this product? So for example, I'll just throw in this one here, okay. And I'll throw in one more. I'll put a picture of this one. Maybe this is the black shirt, right? Okay. And then here we have product categories. Now these are automatically created for us when you imported the template, but we can always make new product categories. So for this one, I'm gonna put Daryl's shirts, and then I'll click on add new category. Here you can also add tags like black and shirts. Brands, if you are running specific brands of products, you can go ahead and display them right here. So if you want like Nike brand or something else, you can go ahead and add brands in there if it is a specific brand. Let's go ahead now and scroll up. And I think that's pretty much it. So now I'll go ahead now and click on publish. And then we can view the product. So right here, I'll click on view product. And here we go. So we have the Daryl's shirt category, black t-shirt. It was $100, but right now it's on sale. We have the extra features. We have the description. Here you'll see that it showcases 10 in stock. We have the category, Daryl's shirts. We have different images of the actual products. Okay. And then below that, we have our description. And then we also have additional information such as the weights and dimensions. And then here, you'll also see that we have that upsell. So you may also like, and then it's going to recommend other products. So next, let's create a variable product. Now, a variable product is probably the most common product that you're gonna make. For example, here's ralphlauren.com. Now here you'll see that they offer a variety of different colors and also sizes. And if we actually select a specific color right here, you will then see that the product actually changes, and we can do the same exact thing with WooCommerce. So let me walk you through how to create a variable product. So over here, now instead of going into the back end, here under plus new, I'll just click on product. And this is more of a shortcut way on how to create products and pages with WordPress. All right, so for the product name, I'm gonna put Daryl's shoes, right? Daryl's shoes, okay. Product description, I'll just throw in some content. And scrolling down, here we have product data, and I'm gonna select variable product. Here I'll go ahead and close these pop-ups. And you can also choose a SKU number as well, and a stock management and everything else. Now here we also have shipping, so we can put like the actual dimensions. Here we have link products, so we can also add in those other products like we did before. Next, let's click on attributes. Now this is gonna be the most important part of a variable product. So what is the first attribute? Well, it's probably the size, right? So here we have size. And then here we have size 10. I'll just put size 10, okay? Now the next thing you're gonna do is there is a bracket above the enter sign on your keyboard. You're gonna hold shift and press that button. I'll leave it on the screen right here so you can see what to press. Then we have size 11. And then I'll go ahead and put in size 12. Now, a lot of the t-shirts will probably follow small, medium, and large, but since I'm offering shoes, I'm just going to put various sizes. So here I'll put size 10, 11, and also size 12. Now what I want to do here is click on Save Attributes. Now I want to add in a second attribute. So over here, I'll click on Add New, and I want to put in color. It's color. The first color I'll put is gray. The second is red, and the next one is beige. Okay, then I'll click on Save Attributes. So here we have size and color. Next, let's click on Variations. Here I'll click on Variations, and then I'm going to click on Generate Variations. And next I'll click on OK. So what this is going to do, it's going to combine both attributes, and it's going to create a shoe size for each individual one. So here we have size 10 gray, size 10 red, size 10 beige, and then we have the same thing for size 11 and also size 12. Now, I'll be honest, guys, this is going to be the most tedious part of e-commerce. So for example, for size 10 gray, here I'll click on Edit. You'll now need to go through each individual one and create an image for this one right here. So for example, size 10 gray, here we go. I'll select the one for that. And then here we have the price. I'm going to put $50. And then you can also choose the weight if you want to go that route. Now, I just want to be very transparent here. You must have a price. If you do not have a price, this product will not be able to be added to the cart. So it is very important you do not forget the actual price of the product. So you'll go through here and fill this information for each specific product, or you can just leave it blank. It's really up to you. So here I'll go ahead and click on Edit. All right, close that. And now I want to do size 10 red. So right here, I'll go ahead and put in the red shoes. And this is also $50. Okay. And the last one, size 10 beige. Here, I'll go ahead and put in the beige. There we go. And this one is going to be $80. This one's going to be a little bit more expensive. Okay. Then I'll click on Edit. And then you'll do the same thing for the rest of the actual products. So I'll go ahead and fast forward this. Okay, and once you're done adding in all of the images and the pricing and description for each specific size, you'll then click on Save Changes. Next here, you'll see product short description. So you can go ahead and add in some description about the actual product. Now, you can also add in each individual description for each product here as well under the description option. So you can add in description for each specific one. So if they do select it, you can showcase different descriptions based off their selection. This one right here is just a general product short description. So I'll just go ahead and leave that there. And here we have product image. Now, this is going to be the default image of when they actually see the actual product image. And over here, we have default form values. So the first thing I want to do is here I'll select size 11. And then we also have the default color. So I want to make sure that this gray is the same as my product image right here, because this is going to be the default selection for the actual products. And once you've added in all of those options for the variable products, you'll then click on Publish. All right, so here we go. We have Daryl's shoes, and you're gonna see the price ranges from $50 to $80. That's because the beige are $80, so it's a little bit more expensive. We're gonna scroll down right here, and if I select maybe size 10 and red, you will then see that the product will change to the red shoes. So here we have gray, right? And here I'll select beige. So once I select size 10 beige, you'll now see the price jumps to $80 because we actually charge a little bit more for the beige shoes. So this way right here, you'll see that users can go ahead and, shop with different variations on your e-commerce store. And they can also add multiple ones to the cart. So for example, here they can select 4 shoes, add to the cart. And then once I scroll up here at the top, you will now see the user has 4 shoes in the actual cart. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the actual product categories. Now, over here, let's go ahead and go to our dashboard, and we have products, and then here we have categories. Now, I do realize that the theme imported some categories that you might not need. So what you can do here is click on this, and you can delete them. So I'll go ahead and click on the ones I don't want, and then I will click on Delete. Now there's one more thing that I do want to mention. So this one right here, it cannot be deleted. So what I recommend to do here is just use this. So you can put something like Daryl's gear or something. Here we go, Daryl's gear, okay. And then update category. and then use this right here as one of your categories. So unfortunately, you cannot delete this one. So just make sure that if you do create categories, you should probably use the uncategorized category. All right, party people, in this part of the video, I'm gonna walk you through the WooCommerce settings. So in this part of the video, I'm gonna go through the shipping, the taxes. We're gonna automate taxes on your website as well. I'll show you how to use the general settings. And then we're also gonna integrate credit card payments on your new e-commerce store. So after watching this video, you'll be ready to go and you'll be accepting credit card payments in no time. So with that said, let's go ahead now and jump to the WooCommerce settings. All right, party people, in this part of the video, we're now gonna be talking about the WooCommerce settings. So let's go over here to our dashboard. Now here you're gonna see WooCommerce, and you'll have a few tabs like orders, customers, coupons, reports, and settings, and a few other miscellaneous options. You'll also see a payments tab, which takes you to the payments of WooCommerce, and also analytics about your store, where if you click on the overview tab, it'll just give you a brief overview about your store. Then also there's options like revenue, orders, variations, and all these other options you can check out later. Below that, we also have another tab called marketing. Yeah, I know. I don't know why they keep adding in more and more tabs, but this essentially will introduce you all to, third-party plugins that you can use on your store. And also there is a coupons tab where you can create coupons, which we will do a little bit later. But let's go ahead and go to the core options of WooCommerce. So over here under WooCommerce, let's scroll over here and click on settings, and let's configure the options for our store. Now, the first thing that you want to do is create a store address. This is very important because this will configure the taxes for your store. So here I'll just go ahead and put in a random address. Here I'll also put in a city. California. Now, the next option is general options, and here you have selling locations. So this is important. So you can sell to all the countries, sell to all countries except for, or sell to specific countries. In my experience of web design, this option is typically selected the most because here you can actually select the countries where you want to do business. And if you are in the United States, you probably want to do business only within the United States. However, you can also use our neighbor, Canada, if you want to, go that route. So we'll select United States and Canada for this tutorial. Here we have shipping location, and obviously you can ship to all the countries you sell to, or you can ship to all countries. But I think this one makes the most sense because you're only going to ship to countries where you do business. The next option is default customer location. So whatever the customer puts on the checkout page, that's where you're going to ship to. We do have geolocates, but in my experience, a lot of people use VPNs today, so I recommend to just use shop country. The next is address autocomplete. You don't really need this because this requires a third-party plugin, which we're not going to use. Next, we have taxes and coupons. I do recommend to enable taxes and also enable the use of coupons, and then make sure all these boxes are checked. And below that, we have currency options, and here you can actually select the currency you want to accept for your online store. I'm going to be accepting the US dollar. So here at the bottom, after we've made all those changes, here I'll click on Save Changes. All right, cool. Now just remember that your store address must be correct. And again, this is very important because taxes and shipping are calculated based off your store address. Let's go to the next tab. The next tab we have products. Now the shop page is actually called products. If you actually want to create a brand new shop page from scratch, you can go to plus new up over here and go to page and then assign any shop page as your default shop page. Next, we have the add to cart behavior. This essentially means that if you check this box, it'll redirect users to the cart page if they add something. I don't recommend selecting that if you have multiple products because then it's going to keep bringing them to the cart page if they add anything to the cart. Now below here we have measurements, and essentially if you are in America, you definitely want to select pounds and ounces. If you are in Europe, you might want to do kilograms and grams. So these are just weight measurements for your store. Also dimension units, you can change this to inches, yards, meters, or inches or centimeters. Now below that we have reviews. Now this option is actually important. So if you want to enable reviews, you can have this box checked. If you want to only allow people to leave reviews if they have personally bought something on your store, then you will select this option here. So it's really up to you, but I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that unchecked. And then here we have product ratings as well, where you can enable star ratings on reviews. So you can configure what you want for the reviews, but once you're done making those changes, you'll then click on Save Changes. You can also go explore these other options like inventory, where you can enable stock management. And then also if you have downloadable products, you can go ahead and adjust some of the options here. but let's go ahead and click on the tax tab up here at the top. So the next tab is tax. Now I will be showing all of you how to generate automated taxes with your store. However, it's first important to know how all this works before doing that. Now the first option is price entered with tax. Make sure this option here is checked. This will actually show the prices of your products without tax inside of the products. And that's typically what most stores do. Now the next one is very important. Calculate tax based on, and then here we have customer shipping address, customer billing address, and then shop-based address. Now, depending on the state that you're in, here I'll go ahead and leave this article by TaxJar.com. If you are in specific states, you need to charge tax based off where you are located. For example, these states right here are origin-based. So you're gonna charge sales tax based off where you are physically located. So Arizona, California, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee. For example, here we have California, right? Now, California, the sales tax is 7.25%. Now, if you are in the state of California, you are going to charge tax based off the shop-based address. Got it? If you are in another state, which is pretty much the rest of the states in America, you are then going to change this to, this one over here, you're going to change this to the customer shipping address. That's where the customer is physically located. So I'll go ahead and leave this in the video description, but yeah, there's not too many origin-based states. There's probably only about 10, and California is one of them. So over here under WooCommerce settings, I want to make sure that for me, for my store, that I am in shop-based address. Now the next is a newer option called shipping tax class. You generally want to have this one selected here. If you're going to charge only one specific tax rate, then you're going to select standard, but I'll talk more about this in just a little bit. But for now, I'll put this as shipping tax based off the cart items. Here we have rounding. If you want to round it up, you can go ahead and do that. Here you can rename reduced rate or zero rate. I'm just going to leave that standard for now. Display prices in the shop, excluding tax. I think most stores do that. But these options are pretty standard, so I do recommend to leave these options alone. So here at the bottom, I'll click on Save Changes. All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and click on Standard Rates. Now the first thing that I want to do is I want to implement a standard sales tax for my products. So right here, I'll click on Insert Row. And then here we have country code. And here you're gonna see a list of all of these countries with the actual country code. So for example, if you are in Brazil, you're gonna put BR. If you are in Canada, you'll put CA and so on and so forth. So I'm in the United States. So I'll scroll to the bottom here, and under United States of America, it is US. So going over here to WooCommerce, we're gonna type in US. And then here we have the state code. If you don't know the state code, again, you can go to TaxJar.com and just take a look at this map. So California is right here. I'll go ahead and select CA. And my postcode is 91311, okay? And for the rates, if you don't know the state rates, here it is. For me, it's 7.25, okay? So I'll put in 7.25. The next is a tax name. So here I'll just put California, okay? Priority. So a priority is essentially going to say, if you have multiple tax rates, then this one will take first priority before others. That's only if you have many, many different tax rates, which many of you probably won't do that. The next option is compound. If you want to actually charge 7.2.5 plus another sort of tax rate right here, you can actually make all these compound together and add up all the rates together. This really doesn't apply to everyone, and I'm not sure where you would use that, but the option is always nice to have. And then lastly, we have shipping. So should you charge tax on top of shipping? Well, a lot of states actually do. So here is another resource from TaxJar.com, and let's go ahead and scroll down. So states where shipping is taxable, and here is a list of states. So Arkansas, Kentucky, Minnesota, Mississippi. I would say about half of America actually does charge, they do charge tax on top of shipping. So go ahead and look for your state and see if it's there. My state is not there, so I'm going to uncheck this because in the state of California, we do not tax on top of shipping. So right here, I'll click on Save Changes. Now let's go ahead and talk about reduced rates. Now this actually makes a lot of sense. So here we have a 7.25, right? But some products actually are subject to different tax rates. For example, digital products, marijuana, certain cars, there's a lot of different tax rates for special items. So for example, over here, we're gonna go ahead and insert a new one. So in the state of California, digital products have zero sales tax. That means if I'm selling something digital, I don't want to have a tax rate. However, I also might be selling something physical, so I do need to have both tax rates on the websites. So I'm gonna put 0% right here and then click on Save Changes. And let's just imagine that this right here is this one right here is a digital product. Or here, I'll just put digital, okay? Digital, it's a digital hat, right? Okay, digital. And here I'll click on Updates. Okay, now here I'll click on Edits. So here we have the product and I'm gonna scroll down. And over here under General, you're now gonna see that we have a few options. We have tax status. Here we have taxable, right? But tax class, I'm gonna put reduced rates. And that essentially means that this hat right here will be subject to 0 tax. So what you can do here is you can go ahead and actually create specific tax rates for specific products if you want to go that route using the reduced rates. So here under the standard rates, just remember that we have a general rate of 7.25%. However, under the reduced rates, we have 0%. So yeah, you can go ahead and charge different tax rates for specific products. Now let me show you all how to add automated taxes to your store. Let's go over here to the plugins and click on Add New. Over here under Search Plugins, we're gonna type in WooCommerce Tax. So this is the plugin right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this plugin. This plugin is created by WooCommerce. So here I'll click on Install Now, and then we'll click on Activate. Next, it wants us to connect our website to WooCommerce Tax. So here I'll click on Connect. Now you'll make a free account with WordPress.com. And you're doing this because we're utilizing the WordPress.com API. So here I'll put in my email. All right, cool. So I went ahead and I logged in. Next, I'll check my email. Next is creating my account. And that is it. We now have automated taxes on our store. Here, I'll click on Got It. Now let's go over here and click on Tax. And now we need to enable automated taxes. So right here, we can go ahead and enable this, scroll to the bottom and click on Save Changes. Now remember, this is actually being pulled by the TaxJar API. So TaxJar.com and WooCommerce actually work together, and this is where they're pulling the information. So you can be certain it comes from a very reliable source. All right, next let's talk about shipping. So up here, I'll click on shipping. Now the first thing that we need to do is add a shipping zone. So right here, I'll click on Add Shipping Zone. Let's first give our first zone a name. So this is gonna be United States. Now the next option is zone regions. Now I wish they didn't put this, but this actually means everywhere based off your shipping zones. So for example, I am shipping to United States and Canada. So by default, it will ship to everywhere in those areas. If you only want to ship to specific regions, you can go ahead and select those regions here. For example, if you want to ship to only Alaska, Arizona, and Arkansas, you can do that. But since I am shipping to all of the places in United States and Canada, I'm going to leave everywhere standard. The next option is shipping methods. So here, I'll click on Add a Shipping Method. Now here we have free shipping. So first, I'll click on Free Shipping and click on Continue. Now free shipping requires what? Well, right here, we have a few options. No requirements, a valid free shipping coupon, a minimum order amount, or you can select a minimum order and a coupon or. So either or they must have both. I'm gonna select a minimum order amount, and this must meet about $100. So if the customer spends $100 on our store, they will automatically get free shipping. Here, I'll click on Create and Save. Pretty simple, right? Okay, let's do another one. Here, I'll click on Add Shipping Method. Next, we'll go ahead and select the second option, which is flat rates. Here, I'll click on Continue. So what is the flat rate for shipping, right? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put something like maybe $5, all right? So $5 is going to be our default flat rate for shipping on our store. Here, I'll go ahead and click on Create and Save. Now let's select the last one. Add shipping method, local pickup. Here, I'll click on Continue. And obviously this probably will be free. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 0. You can always put like a, like a pickup fee or something like that if you wanna go that route. Also for tax status, this is not gonna be taxable. So here, I'll click on Create and Save. Now here we have 3 options. Free shipping if they spend $100, flat rates, and the flat rate is $5. And then here we have local pickup, okay? Now many of you probably are thinking, wait a minute, I have a lot of different products, so I need to charge a different shipping price for each individual product. This is gonna be called shipping classes. So let's go ahead and talk about that next. So let me help you understand this. Let's go to our product page. Now over here, you're gonna see that we have 3 products. Now here, this shirt probably doesn't cost much for shipping. However, if you have something like a refrigerator, or if you have really big shoes, then you might have to charge a different shipping rate because this product might be larger, it might be heavier, there could be a whole bunch of reasons. So let me show you how to charge a shipping rate for each individual item. Let's go over here to WooCommerce. And now we're going to introduce you all to shipping classes. So here I'll click on add shipping class. And for this class, we'll just go ahead and put heavy, right? And then heavy packages, okay. You know, sorry if I type wrong. I can see the keyboard. I'm not illiterate. I just, I have a microphone in front of me. So here I'll click on create. Okay, so now we have these shipping classes. Next, let's go back over here to shipping zones. And we're gonna scroll down, and here we have flat rates. Now over here, I'll click on edit. So now we have a default flat shipping rate of $5. However, we need to actually charge more for specific products. So let's say, for example, those shoes on our store, they're gonna cost a little bit more for shipping. I'm gonna put something like, $10 for shipping. Next, we have calculation type. You do wanna make sure you have per class selected. This essentially is going to charge this rate for each individual item in the cart. If you put per order, it's just going to put the most expensive shipping class for all of the products in your cart. So I do recommend to put per class, and this will actually make sure that the customer pays the appropriate price for shipping. Here, I'll go ahead and click on save. So now that we've done that, now we need to assign this actual rate to a specific product. So over here, I'll click on Daryl's shoes. Next, I'll click on edit product. All right, we're gonna scroll down, and over here we have shipping. So here we have shipping class. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put heavy. And what this is gonna do now, it's going to assign this specific shipping cost for this specific product. Here I'll click on update. Because I realize many of you, selling something, you probably have a bunch of different items that are a bunch of different sizes. So shipping classes makes it possible where you can assign a shipping rate for each individual item. And later on, we'll run a test transaction where you'll see the flat rate and the shipping class cost being applied. Let's go ahead and scroll up. Now we're gonna skip payments for now. Next, we have accounts and privacy. Now on your own free time, feel free to check out these options. This is essentially if you want to enable guest checkout. I think that's a terrible idea. And these default options are standard for most e-commerce stores. Next, let's click on emails. Here we have this really annoying pop-up from one of those plugins. So yeah, sometimes plugins do that. Sorry guys, that does happen with WordPress sometimes. Now there's a few things I want to talk about here. So here you'll see recipients, and these are actually going to you. So when you get a new order, this will be sent to your specific email. These orders right here, like processing, on hold, yada, yada, these will be sent to the customers. So over here, I'll click on manage. So here you'll see that these subject and email headings, these are defaults. I do recommend to leave these options default because it just, it's just easier and it just makes sense, right? Now, the problem here is that if we scroll down, this email right here is not able to be customized. However, you can use a free plugin. I made a video about a few years ago, and there is a drag and drop builder where you can essentially build these forms from scratch right here. So in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you really quick. You can actually drag and drop elements onto the actual form right here. So you can actually custom build this however you would like using a free plugin, and does not cost you anything whatsoever. So I do recommend to use that plugin, and I'll put this video in the video description. It is a really cool plugin, and this will allow you to customize all the emails for your store. Next, let's talk about the most important option, payment gateways. Let's click on the payments tab. Now we're going to enable payment gateways on our website. So we'll be integrating PayPal, and we'll also be integrating Stripe. Now, I do recommend a different plugin besides the official one. To be honest, the official plugin for Stripe actually malfunctions a lot, so I do not recommend it. So over here, I'll go to plugins and click on add new. And we're gonna type in Stripe. And right here, you're gonna see payment plugins for Stripe. Now, believe it or not, I hate to say this, but this third-party plugin works much better than a developer plugin. You can even see by the ratings that this plugin right here is highly preferred. So we're going to use this plugin right here. So I'll click on install now, and then we'll click on activate. Now, what's really cool here is they're also recommending to install the payment plugins for PayPal WooCommerce. I do actually recommend to install this as well. So right here, also go ahead and install this same plugin. Then I'll click on activate. All right, here I'll go ahead and close this. Now on the left side, I'll go ahead and click on Stripe by Payment plugins. And then we're going to click on settings. Now, just remember here that Stripe by Payment plugins, this is actually an official partner for Stripe.com. So they're not just some random developer. These guys actually work with Stripe and they're recommended on Stripe.com's website, which leads us to the next website. So this is Stripe.com. Now, Stripe.com is a free service. It does not cost you anything whatsoever. There is no credit check. There is no monthly fee whatsoever. There is a small transaction fee for each individual sale, but that is standard for all merchants in the industry. So once you get to this page, you're going to go ahead and sign up with Stripe.com and you're going to make an account. All they really require is a bank account and basically like your name and your address and stuff like that. And once you go through the setup process and you make an account with Stripe, it will then bring you to your dashboard. Okay, so this is Stripe.com, and all we have to do here is we just need to actually sync up our website with Stripe. Now, all you have to do is just log into your accounts and then go back over here to your websites. And all we're gonna do is go ahead and connect this. So here you'll see connect Stripe accounts. Here I'll click on click to connect. Okay, now what's really cool is once you are logged in with Stripe, it's going to pull all the accounts from the browser right here. So I'm gonna select my business right here, Kopi Coffee, scroll to the bottom and click on connect. And literally that's all you have to do. So now the account is now connected. Now right here, it is in test mode and you can always change this to live mode if you want to accept real credit card payments on your websites. But for now, let's go ahead and leave this as test. Scroll to the bottom and click on save changes. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're now going to integrate the PayPal integration. So right here we have PayPal and the same thing. Here I'll click on settings. So next we have the PayPal integration. Now real quick, this is paypal.com. Now paypal.com is another free service. It does not cost you anything whatsoever. It's actually funny, there used to be a fee for a business account, but as of today, there is no more fees. You can make a free business account. Now, once you get to paypal.com, you'll go to sign up. Now you must make a business account in order for this to work. If you create a personal account, this will not work. It will not sync up with your website. So for this specific integration, you must select business. All right, makes sense? All right, cool, got it. So going back to our website, under the connect to PayPal, here, I'll click on click to connect. Next, I'll go ahead and log in. And it's done. Just like that, we've now integrated PayPal onto our website. It's so simple, right? I love this developer. He's really, really good. Whoever he is, you know, kudos to him. All right, so once we're done, we'll go ahead and scroll to the bottom. Oh, looks like save changes is already selected. So there is nothing more for us to do in the WooCommerce settings. So now let's go ahead and run a live transaction. Let's go over here to visit sites and let's just buy something. You know, we got a e-commerce store. Let's go ahead and buy something. Here we'll go to products. And I'm gonna buy this, this black t-shirt. So right here, I'll click on add to cart. Next, I'll click on view cart. So here's the cart page. And you're gonna see for the shipping that we are charged a flat rate of $5 unless the user wants local pickup. Now, if I actually select something like, you know, 3 shirts and click on updates, you are now gonna see the option for free shipping being applied because remember, we are spending more than $100. So I'll go ahead and select free shipping and then click on proceed to checkout. Next, I'll fill out my billing details. Okay, so I went ahead and filled out my billing details. Now over here under country, you're gonna see the customer only had the option for Canada and US because those are the only countries where we are shipping to. Now scrolling down, I'll go ahead and scroll down here a bit more. If you want to ship this product to a different address, maybe you guys have another girlfriend, you wanna ship something to a different address, you know, something like that, you can go ahead and ship this product to a completely different address. But I don't wanna do that, so I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck that. Here you'll see that free shipping is applied. We have these California communist taxes that are applied to this product. And then here we have debit and credit cards. Now, if you are using Stripe and you are using live transaction, if you are using Stripe and you're using test mode, you're just gonna enter the credit card number 424242, just like this, all the way across, okay? And then for expiration date and security code, you can enter in anything that you want. And go ahead and scroll down. Here, I'll go ahead and just save the card, I guess, right? And here, I'll click on place order. And just like that, we have now made a new order. Congratulations. So now you'll see that we have a new order. We have the total amounts. We have the order details. And then scrolling down, we have the billing address and also the shipping address. So congrats. So next, let's go ahead and check our orders. So over here, let's go to dashboard. And now if we go to WooCommerce, you're gonna see now we have orders. So here, click on orders. And here you'll see that we have an order. Now there is an option in WooCommerce where you can actually make these automatically fulfilled, but right now we're processing. So we're just taking a look at the order. So here I'll click on the actual customer, and here you're gonna see the order details. So here under status, we can always make sure that we complete this order and then click on updates. And this will essentially notify the customer that, that the order is completed and that we are now shipping the product. Now, let's say, for example, you want to refund this order. Maybe there was a problem with the order and the customer said, you know what, this product sucks. I want to get my money back. Here, you'll go ahead and scroll to the bottom. And right here, you'll see refund. You'll just click on refund. And then here you can put how much you want to refund. And then once you do that, you will then click on refund. Now, since this was a test order, it says $0. And that's just because, we can't refund real money based off a test order, but that's how you would do that. Now, the very last thing that I want to talk about is the My Account page. So over here under the All Pages, here is the My Account page. And this was created automatically when you installed WooCommerce. So every customer on your website will have their own My Account page where they can access their orders. They can update all their information. For example, right here, they can view the actual transaction. So we did buy something for $164. So it appears right here and they can view that. They can also update their address right here within their accounts. And then also they can update their payment methods right here in their account as well. Now, in order for a customer to log into the account, all they have to do is go ahead and click on this right here, and then they can go ahead and log in and log out. There's also third-party plugins with WordPress that makes it really easy for them to log in using social login. Now, many of the emails from your customers and your website will probably not be working. So I do recommend to actually watch this video here. This video right here will show you how to fix all the email problems with WooCommerce. So if you are brand new to WooCommerce, the emails probably will not be sent to your customers. So this video is a must watch. It's a completely free plugin. All you got to do is change some SMTP settings and you'll be good to go. So I do recommend to watch this video in order to make the emails work for your e-commerce store. All right, so at this point you have a fully functional e-commerce website. Now, for those of you who want to upgrade and fully customize every part of your website, in this part of the video, I'll be showing you how to fully customize your website with Elementor Pro. This allows you to design a custom shop page, design a custom single product page, and also alter the cart and the checkout, which gives you a lot more customization over your e-commerce website. So to get started, let's get Elementor Pro. Now, there is a link in the video description. This will take you to Elementor's website where we're going to purchase the Pro version. And here is Elementor Pro. Now, recently, Elementor completely updated their entire website and also their pricing plans as well. Now, once you get here, you're going to click on pricing here at the top. And then we can select a plan. Now, I'll be very honest with all of you guys, okay? Elementor constantly changes their pricing options. So if you see different pricing plans than me, I'm very sorry, but Elementor has a culture of changing their pricing plans like every week, guys. So there's nothing I can really do out of that, but I'll do my best to explain these pricing options. So here we have a few different ones. We have the Essential, the Advanced Solo, and we have the One plan. Now, the Advanced Solo is the most commonly used plan that people get. If you click on 3 websites right here, you'll pay about $100 for the year. Now, they have the One plan, but personally, there's a lot of controversy about this plan because what you're actually paying for is all these other plugins that you don't really need or use. So I think some of the best plans is the Advanced plan if you're just like one person that just wants a few websites. However, if you click on Building for Clients, the Expert plan is probably one of your best options. So this gives you access to use Elementor on 25 different websites for about $200. Now, if you are feeling lucky or if you feel like you're really going to commit to Elementor, they have an agency plan right here where if you pay $47 a month or $37 a month. I don't know. They constantly change this pricing. You can install Elementor on unlimited websites. So it really depends on your needs. But I think if you're getting started out with Elementor for the very first time, I think using the advanced plan is good. And if you find yourself building multiple websites, the expert is good as well. However, if you are a full-on agency that needs a lot of websites, maybe you got a lot of clients, the one agency plan would make the best sense for you. So go ahead and pick a plan that's best for you. Under the advanced plan, I'm just going to use this one here for this video. Here, I'll click on Buy Now. Now you can also select a billing cycle. I think 1 year is a good amount of time. 2 years, 14%, that's just not enough. So me personally, as a business guy, I'm going to say I think the 1 year plan makes the most sense. So I'll select 1 year and click on Continue to Checkout. So this is the cart page, and all you got to do is just go ahead and verify your order and then click on Go to Checkout. Now, once you go to the checkout process, I will then meet you in the customer portal. All right, so here is the Elementor dashboard. Now, this is a list of all the websites using Elementor Pro. As you can tell, I have a lot of websites. I have more than 200. Now, over here on the top right, you'll see this download button. Click on the download button, and then all you gotta do is click on Elementor Pro, and this will download Elementor Pro onto your computer. You're then gonna take that file and upload it to your WordPress website. So let me show you how to do that. We're gonna go over to our WordPress website and go to our dashboard. We're then gonna go to plugins and click on add plugin. Then we're gonna click on upload plugin here at the top and choose the file. Or I can just go ahead and drag and drop it. So right here, I'll just drag and drop it and click on install now. Next, I'll click on activate plugin. Okay, and once you install the plugin, you'll then see connect and activate. So click on connect and activate. Next, it'll link up your Elementor account with your website. So right here, you'll click on connect and activate. And voila, now our website is fully connected. Now this is Elementor's new interface. So let me go ahead and just quickly show you around. So right here, this is the home. And if you click on let's start, so here is their little interface. Now you can close any pop-up. Elementor has a long history of pop-ups, and honestly, they're really annoying. I can't really defend it. I made a whole video talking about Elementor 1 in another video. But anyways, this is just some area where you can navigate different parts of your website. Now, over here, I'll go ahead and click on editor. And these are the Elementor options. So here you have like the general settings. Now, many of you watching this video probably won't really go to these options, but I'll just show you around. So if you ever want to like explore different versions of Elementor, here they have their V4 version coming out very soon. This will be out in just a few months. Over here, they have the features tab. Now, Elementor is constantly releasing new features, and sometimes they release them too fast. So that's why they put them in this section over here, where if you want to just go ahead and check out their newest features, you can go ahead and click on activate and then activate their new features. This is their performance section where everything is already loaded automatically. So there's nothing for us to really do over here. Tools. Tools is where you can actually import templates. So going over here to website templates, this is where you can import template kits. Now I'll be giving you a template kit a little bit later, so we'll come back to this a little bit later. Here we have role manager. This is essentially where you can assign specific roles to people. So if you are working with a team, you can create users in the user section and then assign them roles and give each person specific authority to use the page builder. The templates with Elementor, I gotta be honest, they are pretty terrible. So if we click on website templates here, they're really not that good looking. And a lot of times they're like really like not completed. So they basically make like these templates and then they stop making them, so I don't really use the Elementor templates. These have actually been around for years and they really haven't updated this at all. Hopefully in the future they will, but the templates for Elementor they're so-so, but if you want to check them out, you can go ahead and knock yourself out. And then also we have floating elements and also pop-ups. Now we're going to come back to floating elements and pop-ups a little bit later. These essentially will create pop-ups on your website, which is pretty cool. I'm using an older version of Elementor actually, but the one that I'm showing you right now, this is going to be installed on your, on your website. So let's now talk about how to design the product page and shop page using the theme builder. Now over here, you're going to see theme builder. Theme builder is also available right here, but you can click on either one. It'll bring you to the theme builder. So go ahead and click on theme builder. Now the Elementor theme builder allows you to create custom parts of your website using the Elementor page builder. For example, you can create a custom header, a custom footer, a custom single post page for the blog templates. And then here you'll see single product and then products archive. So I'm going to walk you through how to use only the features for e-commerce. Now I do have another video dedicated to Elementor Pro that shows you all the features, but I don't really want to show you in this video because I don't want this video to get too long. So we're just going to focus on the e-commerce features. So let's go ahead and start from scratch and create a custom shop page. Now, a theme builder essentially allows you to custom build every part of your website using the native page builder instead of relying on the actual WordPress theme. Over here, you're going to see that we have single product and we also have product archive. This allows us to create our own shop page from scratch. So let me walk you through how to do that. Here at the top, I'll click on add new. And here is a list of really crappy pre-made templates. You'll see they try to do something, but we're not going to use this. So we're going to start from scratch. Now, I'll also be giving you 4 different templates of shop pages and product pages a little bit later. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm going to give you guys some really cool looking shop page templates. But for now, let me demonstrate how to use the theme builder for the shop page. So on my website, darrylwilson.com, here we have a theme builder applied with a custom shop page. You'll see we have our products right here. We have a sidebar on the right side. And if we scroll down, we have some other options right here where we have frequently asked questions, and then also we have upsells. So a lot of websites actually custom build their own shop page just because it gives you a lot more flexibility. The first thing I want to do is create a title. So over here under the flex box, I'm just going to insert a title, right? So this would be something like our shop page. Now notice here how we have more elements for the product archive and also WooCommerce, but we can still use the basic elements. So right here under heading, I'll drop this here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this our shop page. So, and then for the style, I can center this, and we can always further design this. Like we can, make it bigger and stuff like that. So here I'll increase the minimum heights, and I'm going to justify the content in the center. Also, I might wanna add like a background to this. So on the 6 dots under the style, I'm just gonna add in like a background overlay. So I just wanna kinda, just give it some style here. So, okay, and maybe I wanna make this text just a little bit larger, right? Just a little bit larger. There we go, shop page, okay. Now the next section, we can actually incorporate like products right here and maybe even add a sidebar. So here I'll click on plus, flexbox, and I'll select a 2 column, but you'll see this one right here. I'm gonna put the sidebar on the left side. So I'll select this one here and I'll click on add elements. So the first thing I'll do is here under WooCommerce, we now have the option to take products right here. So I'm gonna take the products, drag and drop it. Okay, so here is our products for our shop, and you can adjust the number of columns and rows. So if you want to further adjust this, you can do that. You can also add a pagination, and that essentially allows users to scroll if there is a lot more products. Here we have query. Now query allows you to add specific product categories only to this page. So for example, you can make like a little section right here that says something like, here, I'll just give you an example. Under the heading, this can be like Daryl's, shoes, right? And then for the query, you can just say, I only want Daryl's shoes to be shown here. So for the included by, I'll click on term, and then under the term, I'll put Daryl's. I think we have Daryl's shoes, right? Daryl's shoes, right? So only Daryl's shoes will be displayed here. So by doing this, you can showcase specific product categories. So you can basically go like make a really large page and say, oh, this category over here and this one over here and so on and so forth, right? But I'm just going to allow this for all products. So I'm just going to exclude that, and then I will delete that, okay? Now also, I wanna add a sidebar on this left side. So real quick, I wanna make this a little smaller, okay? I'll type in sidebar. Here we go, sidebar, and then drag it right there. And here we can choose the sidebar. So we do have that WooCommerce sidebar that we created earlier, right? So maybe we can make this a little bit bigger. All right, it looks like this filter thing, this could be conflicting with Elementor. So sometimes the plugins and Elementor don't mix well. And while you're building the website, it might look weird, but what you gotta do is you gotta save this as draft and then preview this on a new page to see if it's actually working. So on the preview page, you're gonna see it looks really clean, really nice, but during the editing process, it could look a little weird. And it's not really Elementor's fault, it's actually no one's fault. It's just sort of WordPress's weird way of building, right? So here we have this section. Now, let's say, for example, you wanna add something here at the bottom, right? So over here, we can go ahead and hit the flex box plus, and then you can go ahead and add in like a text right here and talk about where the products are made or something like that. So here we'll go ahead and put in like more description and so on and so forth. So these elements here represent the actual shop page. So just remember that all these elements here you can use. Now, I do not recommend to use the checkouts or like the my accounts because this can cause conflict on this page and it just shouldn't be there anyways. Typically, the elements you should be using is the archive title. This essentially means that whatever page that users go to, this will dynamically update. So I do recommend to use the product archive title instead of the text, because let's say, for example, they click on Daryl's shoes, this title will change to Daryl's shoes category. If they click on the Daryl's shirt, then this will also dynamically change to Daryl's shirt category. Now, the last option we need to select is this archives right here. So I'm gonna click on this element, and for the archive title, I don't really want it to say archives. I mean, there's no need for that. So I'm going to not include the context and then click on publish. And then you'll see it just says products. Now we need to set the conditions. So here I'll click on add condition. And what we can do here is just click on all product archives. And essentially what that's gonna do is that's going to put this on all of the different shop pages. Now you can go a step further here and make custom pages for every single category if you want to go that route. For example, here we have product categories. Now you can actually make a custom page for each specific product category. Let's say, for example, you only want this on Daryl's shoes. This page will only display on Daryl's shoes. However, you're gonna have to make another page for the other categories, but this way you can see it can be very fluid. There's a lot of different ways on how to build your websites, and a lot of companies actually have different pages for different product category pages. But in this case, I'm just going to stick with the basics here and just do something that's very standard, and I'm gonna select all product archives. Here at the bottom, I'll click on Save and Close. All right, now we can test this out. So let's go to our websites. All right, so here's our websites, and I'll click on Products. And here you'll see Products, and we have the product page that we created from scratch. Now, obviously, this is not the best looking shop page, and don't worry, I'll take care of that in just a bit. But here you'll see, if I click on Daryl's shoes, that this title dynamically updates to Daryl's shoes, and also the breadcrumbs also update. So this way you can actually build a custom shop page from scratch using the Elementor elements. So I've actually prepared a template for all of you watching this video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete everything, and I'm now going to show you how to import something. Now in the video description, there is a file called Elementor templates. Okay, so in the video description, you'll see this zip file right here. Now I'm going to double click on this, and you're going to see a few folders. So here we have the Elementor templates for shop. So I'm going to double click on this and then click on shop page. And then you're going to see this all shop pages. And all you have to do is just take this and drag it, drop it onto your website while you're editing. And then just click on enable and import. All right. And once you do that, you will then see that this imports on your website. So this is like the heading. And below that, we've actually incorporated this sidebar that we created. And then here is the products. So this would be the first shop page, right? Now scrolling down, we've also created a second one. So these are all categories where you can just, put an image here that represents each category, and that would take them to a shop page. Here is another one. So this is the start of a new shop page. And if we scroll down, we have a sidebar here. We have our products right over here, right? And then this would be the last one, which we have another heading that we created. And then here we have this really cool looking, sidebar. We have products right here, and you can add in like a subscription box. You can add in testimonials and all sorts of really cool stuff. So if you do want to use any of these, all you got to do is just delete the stuff that you don't want on the sites. So for example, let's just say you want to use this one. I'm going to just delete all these other pages or these other sections. So I'll just go ahead and delete. And there you go. So now this is going to be your new shop page. And of course, you can always fine tune it. You can always add more to it and, adjust it to your liking. So here I'll go ahead and click on publish. So next, let me show you all how to create a single product page. Let's go over here to exit to WordPress, and we'll do the same thing. Let's click on theme builder. All right, so now that we have a cool custom shop page, let's now create a custom product page. So in this part of the video, I'm gonna show you how to create a custom product page. I'll also be giving you a few templates to work with. So me and my team, we actually designed a few custom product pages, and we're gonna give that to you all for free. So in this part of the video, I'll show you how to create a custom product page and also show you how to import custom product pages as well. With that said, let's jump back to the video. So we can see that this right here is now active on the website, but now let's go ahead and click on single product, and then click on add new. Here is Elementor's kind of failed single product library. We'll just go ahead and close that. So let me walk you through this, and then I'll show you about the templates. So the first thing I want to do is just create maybe like a 2-column row, something very standard. Now on the left side, you're going to see that we have elements. So what I recommend to do here is just put these in order. Now the first thing that we need to add is the product image. Now this is kind of weird, but just bear with me. We're going to type in image, take the image, and then drag it right here. Now we need to actually enable dynamic content. So right here under dynamic tags, this will actually dynamically update to whatever you put. So for example, right here we have product image. I'll select product image. Okay, so now this is going to be the product image for anyone that selects a product on your websites. The next thing I want to do is add in content here on the right side. So up here, add elements. Now the very first thing is probably, let's say, what should we add here? We're first going to add the product title, right? Product title. Okay. And then you're going to see the product title display. Next, we're going to add maybe some short description about the actual product. Here we go. We have short description. The next thing we're going to do is add in maybe the reviews, right? So product rating. Okay. Put in the reviews. The next is the product meta. This essentially shows like the categories and everything else right here, right? Over here, we have the WooCommerce breadcrumbs. So I do want to put the breadcrumbs right here. Okay, so that actually shows like the breadcrumbs. And of course, we need to add the add to cart button. Add it right there. Close these annoying pop-ups. And the next thing we need to do, obviously, is we need to add in the price. So right here, we have product price. Okay. And there we go. Now, just remember, for each specific element, you can go ahead and style all these to your liking. So you can see you can make this, you can increase the size of this. You can completely customize every single element. You can also add in like a background color or like a background image to every single product page on your websites. I want to add like a hint of gray right there, right? And I probably should remove this background, white background color, but I'll probably do that later. And below that, what we can do here is add in some more description about the actual product. So I'll put in a 2-column row. And then here we have the product tabs. I'll drop that there. Okay. And then on this one, we actually, what else do we got here? We have product related. Okay, there we go. And then products that will be related to this one will be displayed right here. So that is how we can create a custom product page. Now, really quick, I want to go ahead and add in some spacing here. So I'm going to add in some spacing here all the way, make this a little bit more compact, just like that. And then here at the top, I'll click on publish. Here I'll click on add condition. Now here they're saying, okay, you want to put this on all your products? Well, we could, but we could put this on all products or a specific product category and so on and so forth. However, I think most of us probably want to use the same product page for all your products. So I'm going to select products here and click on save and close. All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our website. Okay, so this is our new custom shop page, and scrolling down, you're gonna see that we have products. So I'll go ahead and click on one of these products. And now you're gonna see that we are now using this new custom product page that we created using the Elementor theme builder. Now we don't really have any upsells just yet. That's just because we didn't really add any upsells to this specific product. So that is how you can create a custom product page and shop page from scratch using the theme builder. Now really quick, let's go over here and I'll go ahead and delete all of this. And of course, I have some bonuses for all of you watching this. Over here, we actually have the, let's go ahead and show you the other pages. So we have the product pages. All right, so we have 2 product pages. I'll just go ahead and drag and drop this. And then here you're gonna see that we have this custom product page that you can use on your websites. Now we also have one more. So I'll go ahead and delete all this again. And then I will drag and drop the second one. This one here, drag and drop. And this product page right here is a 3-column product page. So here we have the title, we have some description, the size. Here we decided to put the featured image in the middle. And then right here, we just added some upsells like free shipping and then also our social links here at the bottom. So what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and use this as our product page. So I'll click on publish and now let's take a look at our website. So this is the product and all I'm gonna do here is just refresh the page and bam, look at that. Now we have this beautiful product page that we imported on our website. Okay, so now I'll be showing you how to customize the My Account page, the cart page, and also the checkout page. Now you can fully customize those pages and there are also some elements that you can use. So I'll show you how to customize those other parts of the websites where normally you couldn't, but since you have Elementor Pro, now you can. So let me walk you through how to customize those other various pages. So this is the cart page. Now what I recommend to do here is I personally don't like to use the theme builder for the cart page. So let me show you a shortcut. Here at the top, I'll click on Edit with Elementor. And what I want to do is I'm just going to delete this. All right, I'll just delete that. And if we scroll down, we actually have some elements from Elementor Pro. And here under WooCommerce, we now have the cart right here. So we can take the carts and drag and drop it. And this is the new Elementor carts. And here you can see we can change the layouts. So we have 2 columns and we also have 1 column. Here you can actually make the sticky right column. So that means the right will sticky if you have a lot of items in the carts. Here you can adjust the order summary, the coupon, the totals, and then additional options, which you can update the cart automatically, and then also customize the empty carts. Here we have the style tab where you can completely design every single like text and color. For example, I want to go ahead and change this, this blue color. So for the checkout button, under the background type, I'll go ahead and just change this to like a very subtle black. Okay. And the same thing for this one here. I want to make sure that I change this. So for the totals, okay. Now I'm going to collapse this. Now here we have customize. So let's say, for example, you want to customize like the coupon. Here you'll have to select coupon and then also the totals, and this will give you more customization options. Here under the coupon, we can actually change the background color. So you'll see we can actually adjust that. You know, we can customize this a little bit more. Now here we have the actual sections. So I do actually want to change the color of this text. So to change the color of this text, we're gonna go to typography, and you can also change this one here to black. That'll change this over here to black. Scrolling down, this is the link color. So I believe that'll change it, right? There we go. All right, so that'll change it to black because technically this is a link, and this is blue on hover. So you'll also need to click on hover and make sure that this is black. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of customization options which you can do for the cart. So I'll go ahead and just click on publish. And now this is going to be your new cart page, right? Pretty cool. Now we can go ahead and click on view page, and then we can go to the next section. So here, I'll click on proceed to checkout. Now we can also customize this page as well. So up here, I'll click on edit page, then I'll click on edit with Elementor. Now here we have this default checkout page by WooCommerce shortcodes. So I'm going to close this or delete it. And we're going to go over to the WooCommerce for Elementor, and we're just going to add in the checkouts. So over here we have WooCommerce, and here we actually have the checkouts. So there we go, checkout. And now you'll see that we have this new checkout from Elementor. Now you're gonna see for every single tab, there's a lot of different styling options where you can move things around, and you know, you can add a little bit more to every single section. Now I'm not gonna go through in detail right here and show you every option. I think you can learn how to use this by simply just tinkering with it. The thing that I do wanna show you all though is how to change this button color. So up here under style, you're also going to see, if I close this, that we have all these different sections. So here is the purchase button. And for the background type, I just want to make sure that this is like a black, right? And you can do the same thing for order summary, and then also for coupons as well. So over here, if we select coupon, you'll now see that coupon opens up with a lot more different styling options. So make sure that you do click on customize here and, utilize the full extent of Elementor Pro and try to use all of the features, because remember, we did pay for this, so you want to make sure that you get the most out of this plugin. So here at the top, I'll go ahead and click on publish. Now the last page that we can customize is the My Account page. So to get there, here I'll click on dashboard, and I'll go to pages and click on all pages. Here for the My Accounts, I'll go ahead and click on View Page. And then here, I'll click on Edit. And then I'll click on Edit with Elementor. And then I can also design the My Account page. Now the first thing that I can do is I can delete this. Now here I'll click on Delete. And Elementor also has their own My Account widgets. So here I can go ahead and drag and drop that. And you can actually go ahead and further design and customize this if you want to go that route. I personally like the Blocksy My Account section, but I'm just showing you that you could also make this section here as well with Elementor, where you can customize every single section. However, I do think the Blocksy one is, it's definitely fine. It works the same, but you can always rebuild your My Account page from scratch if you want to go that route. Here you'll see they have a few different styles. They have horizontal and also vertical, which does look pretty cool, right? And you can kind of tinker around these options and mess around with it. I'm not going to custom build it from scratch here, obviously, because I think at this point you guys know what to do. Now going back to the theme builder, so I do encourage all of you to actually explore the theme builder and make custom headers, footers, and also 404 pages. So on your own free time, feel free to navigate and explore the rest of the Elementor theme builder. Here I'm going to go ahead and close this. Also, one more thing I want to mention is under the templates and under the pop-ups, make sure that you guys also do mess around with the pop-ups. This essentially allows you to create pop-ups on your websites. Now these pop-ups here, I'll go ahead and click on insert for this one. They can actually help you with like sales and promotion for a lot of sales that you have. So all you would do here is just go ahead and fill out the text and then link this to your shop page, something like this, where you can link them to the product page, right? Products. The product page, and then this can maybe redirect people with the sale to specific pages. So yeah, I do recommend to go ahead and check out the other pro features with Elementor. If you want to learn more about Elementor Pro, I will leave that other video in the video description. All right, so in this part of the video, I'll be giving all of you bonus templates that you can easily import on your website since you have Elementor Pro. Now, on my website, darylwilson.com, if you go to Elementor templates, these are a list of Elementor Pro templates that you can import on your websites. Now, you have to have Elementor Pro in order to use these templates, but I'll giving you 3 free templates that you can import on your websites. The first one is Simaru. This is actually a really clean shop that you can incorporate on your websites. You'll see we have the sidebar that we designed, we have the products, and you can see here how we're utilizing the theme builder. So every single one of these templates utilize the theme builder where we have a custom shop page, a custom product page, and also we have about 15 pages for each of these templates. So the first one is Simaru, the second one is Crafter Home, and the third one is Nutrinest. So we're gonna give you all of these templates completely for free. You can access these in the video description and just check out the demo websites. Now, in order to claim your free templates, all you gotta do is go to my websites and just type in the name of the templates, or you can just search for them. So this one right here is called Simaru. So over here, I'll go ahead and type in Simaru like that. And then here is the actual templates. So you'll go ahead and click on the template. And here is the template, and you can get a live preview of the actual website here in the iframe. And all you gotta do is click on add to cart. Now these are normally about $30, but we're going to go ahead and, oh, I have it in my cart. We're gonna go ahead and show you how to get these all for free. So I'll go ahead and exit out of this one. And now we just have Simaru. Now, if you enter the coupon code free50 and click on apply coupon, you will now see that this template is completely for free. So right here, I'll click on proceed to checkout. And then all you gotta do is just put in your name, your email address, and then right here, you'll agree to the terms and click on place order. All right, cool. So now that the order has been complete, we're gonna scroll down. Now here is a video showing you how to import it. Now remember, these are not themes, they're kits, and this is a very common issue that I get. They're saying, hey Daryl, I try to upload this and it's not working. Now the first thing you'll do is you'll click on this downloader right here and upload the zip. You'll then go to your website. Now I recommend doing this from a brand new website, or if you want to use this on another domain, I recommend to do that. So over here under add plugin, I do recommend to actually either start on a blank page or something. It'll work a lot better. For example, I'll type in WP reset, and there's a plugin that you can use to just completely reset your website. This is the one right here, okay? But I'm gonna be doing this from a new scratch WordPress installation. Now, all you need to do is make sure that you have Elementor and Elementor Pro activated. So here, I'll go ahead and make sure Elementor Pro is activated on this domain. You might also need to install WooCommerce, but don't worry, because when you import the kits, it's automatically going to install and activate WooCommerce for your templates. So let me show you how to import this templates. So over here under Elementor, you'll click on Tools. The next thing you'll do is click on Website Templates, and then right here, you'll see Apply a Website Templates. I'll click on Upload Zip File. And then we're just gonna drag and drop that. Okay, there we go. And here it's importing the content, templates, the settings, and then all of the plugins. So here I'll click on import and apply. Now it's going to set up the website. Now this process might take about 1 to 2 minutes, but just remember I was doing this from a blank template, and by the end of this, we're gonna have a fully generated e-commerce site. So after waiting about 2 minutes, you'll now see the import is now live on the website. Here I'll go ahead and click on close. And then I'll take a look at the websites. So up here, I'll click on visit site. And voila, now we have a beautiful brand new website that we imported using that free kit. If we go to the shop page as well, you're going to see that we have the sidebar, we have the products. We might need to adjust the title, so you might have to adjust some small things on the websites. But overall, this is a really clean looking website. Here we have a custom footer. We have these credit cards there at the bottom. And then we also do have all of the pages right here that were successfully imported. So those are just some free gifts that we're giving away for this video. So feel free to actually go to our website and use that coupon code for these 3 products. And again, I'll put these products in the video description. All right, party people, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have any questions for me about e-commerce or whatever, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to learn everything there is to know about WooCommerce, we want to learn all of the products and everything else, I have a full WooCommerce tutorial in the video description, but I think you guys are good to go already. So I think you guys are already pros. So with that said, congratulations on your e-commerce store. My name is Daryl Wilson, and I'll see all of you party people in the next video. Take care.